Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi Outs here. It is Wednesday morning, and the Raptors are on the second night of a back-to-back. Their last back-to-back of the season. They played Indiana last night in Toronto, and their last home game, and they lost. And they ended up with their worst home record ever for the history of the Air Canada Center / Scotiabank Arena for this season. That's sad. I don't like hearing that. I mean, I get it. In some ways, there was no period of time this whole season where the Raptors really kind of defended the North correctly in their building. Even the beginning of the season, there were a lot of home games that shouldn't have been lost, honestly. And well, it just was that kind of year. In some ways, that record doesn't mean jack shit, honestly. So we got a lot to do. We got a preview and a reaction from the game last night. So let's get to it. Yeah. All right. First of all, we will do what we normally do on this channel, and that is check the injuries for the game tonight first. Of course, I was wrong. I put my reputation on the line yesterday about Grady Dick playing, and I was wrong. But I didn't think about this. I did not winders this. That much like Emmanuel Quickly, he's going to be on the swing shift for the game tonight. You know, we can't have everybody available for Pacers and Pascal. We got to have some people available for Dennis and the Nets. So Grady's going to be on the game tonight. I'll bet you that one. We'll guarantee that one. In some ways, he needed a little bit more time with the groin. And, you know, that the first game makes more sense for him to sit out. If he's not going to play both of them, I mean, he's a youngster. If he wasn't hurt, he'd play both of them. But since he's hurt from the Sunday game, miss the next game and play in the second game of the back-to-back. I'm going to predict that right now. In some ways, this was kind of calculated just like Emmanuel, that Emmanuel was out for rest purposes last night, so he can play tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, that just makes a lot of sense. For our injury report, otherwise, I mean, both those guys are on day-to-day, but I'm going to say right now, they're on the swing shift. They'll show up tonight. Can I transfer my guarantee about Grady Dick to tonight from last night? Am I allowed, please? All right, and the rest of the report is the same. It's persona non grata. Financial wizard is out. Great champion, legacy player. Love this guy, Slim Duck. He is out. We love you, Chris. We love you no matter what happens with you, my guy. Jakoparu is out. He is out. Yes, he's only been using one hand in practice, so he's still not ready to play. Scotty is closer, but he is out. And so is DJ Carton with his ankle. So those are the injury report for the Raptors this morning as of right now. But like I said, I'm pretty sure Quick's going to play for sure. I know Quickly's playing tonight. Well, I'm pretty positive about Grady too. Very, very positive. All right, Brooklyn's got a laundry list of injuries just like we do. In fact, their list is longer than ours. We're actually playing a team that has a longer injury list than us right now, and they're not a good team either. And they're eliminated from the playoffs. And the other thing about Brooklyn is they are winning the season series 2-1 right now. And if we win today, we even the series 2-2. And the other thing is the Raptors only won one game against the Atlantic Division this year, and it was against Brooklyn. We have not beaten hardly any teams in the Atlantic Division. If we can win today, that will add 2 wins against our division for the year. So in some ways, there are things that matter in this game that we could talk about that matter. It's like, all right, let's not lose the series to the Nets. Let's even it out 2-2. Let's get a second Atlantic Division win in the last week of the season, which absolutely sounds ridiculous to me, honestly, considering the history the Raptors have in the Atlantic Division and how we used to run tables around it for most of the last decade, getting sweeps on people like the Knicks, the Sixers, and the Celtics instead of getting swept by them in the other way. But yeah, they got a lot of injuries on the Nets. Dariq Whitehead, he's been out for quite a while. Ben Simmons, yeah, we knew this. This guy's been out for a couple months already. Keita Bates Diop, he will not be playing. He's been shut down for the season. It's his shin. All right, and then we'll get into the meat of it here. All right, Jacob Gilyard is listed as probable for Wednesday's game versus the Raptors due to a left hip contusion. Okay, so he's probable. The little point guard off the bench is probable today. Jalen Martin has been ruled out for Wednesday's game against the Raptors due to a left ankle sprain. I don't even know who Jalen Martin is. Cameron Johnson is listed as probable for Wednesday's game versus the Raptors. So Cam Johnson, probable. Okay. He's a pretty good scorer for them. Nicholas Claxton is probable for Wednesday's game against the Raptors. So Gilliard, Cam Johnson, Claxton, all probable. So probably going to play. Dennis Smith Jr. ruled out for today's game against the Raptors. It's his hip. We haven't really seen Dennis Smith Jr. that much this year. It seems like every time we played the Nets, he's been out. And Dorian Finney-Smith has been ruled out for today's game also against the Raptors. It's his knee. So, yeah, quite a few injuries on the other side. And, of course, we know old dumbass Ben Simmons ain't going to be playing today. So who do they have? Who do the Nets have after that? Well, Dennis Schroeder is their starting point guard right now. Cam Thomas at shooting guard. Mikal Bridges at the small forward. Up front, they got Trendon Watford and Noah Clowney. So the front line of the Nets tonight is a little bit more inexperienced than normal without people like, well, Claxton plays. That'll help. He's probable, so he probably will. Jalen Wilson, the Kansas Jayhawk and very good friend of Grady Dick, will be playing today. That's another reason why maybe Grady will play tonight, is to play more games against his Kansas Jayhawk teammate, Jalen Wilson, very good friend of his. Lonnie Walker the fourth comes off the bench for this team. Scotty Barnes' best friend, Day'Ron Sharp from Montverde Academy, who won their championship this year, apparently. Scotty's alma mater, winning Montverde Academy, winning once again at whatever level they compete in. They're champions, apparently. But Day'Ron, his old teammate from that team, is playing tonight. We also got Keon Johnson. Yeah, that's the Nets team pretty much. It's not a very good team. We have a really good chance to win. And honestly, I'd like to win tonight. Why not? Why not? Let's win tonight. Their record recently, the Nets, is they have lost 3 out of their last 5. They beat Indiana and Detroit, and they lost to Indiana, the Lakers, and the Kings in their last 5 games. So they're 2 and 3 out of their last 5 games, 2 and 3. So, yeah, we got a chance here. We got a chance. All right, let's go see the refs. Our referees for tonight's game. First of all, we've got Star Wars lover, the big Star Wars fan, Carl Lane. In fact, he's such a Star Wars fan. His number is 77 as a referee, and that is the year Star Wars came out in the theaters. Did y'all know that? The referee, the crew chief tonight, his number is the year the Star Wars came out. He's such a huge Star Wars fan. That's why his number is 77, just so y'all know. 13th season out of Little Rock, Arkansas. We love Carl Lane, the Star Wars fan. Seriously, he's a good ref for us. Favorite TV show is Power. Favorite movies, Star Wars movies. Favorite musician, Jay-Z. Favorite books, Star Wars books. Once again, I say it. If somebody's reading Star Wars books, they're a Star Wars nerd. Seriously, but most people just like the movies. Maybe they watch the cartoon droids. Maybe they have some action figures from when they were a kid. But this guy's getting the novels. He's getting like the extended universe of Star Wars fleshed out by reading all the books. I mean, that's a diehard Star Wars fan. So respect to you, Carl Lane, because, man, Star Wars is cool. Star Wars is really cool. His favorite meal is Mexican. So if anybody's in the kitchen, can you get us some tacos, some tamales, some enchiladas, something from Mexican food, something like that? Maybe you surprise me and give me some Mexican food I didn't even know was Mexican food. Favorite app, Candy Crush. This guy's a Candy Crusher. He must like to visit Rome and see the 7 wonders of the world. And his hidden talent is home repair. Now, see, this is the thing. Maybe we can get you to do a thing with Scotty and his trade school thing. And Carl Lane, maybe you could build a house. Like maybe you're like extreme home makeover, like that Ty Pennington guy. And maybe like in a matter of minutes, you get up on stage and just build a tiny house all of a sudden in front of us. That would be impressive for the referee talent show, seriously. And maybe Scotty could endorse it and he could get a whole ad campaign with his trade school with it, Carl Lane. This is great potential for all kinds of good ripple effects. I'm telling you, let's think about this. So your hidden talent is home repair. Let's make a home on the stage, and you might just win that referee all-star talent show. That's right. He's also worked as, this is the cool thing, Carl Lane is so 80s. In some ways, he loves Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. He's also worked as an in-school suspension teacher for 2 years in Little Rock, Arkansas. You know what that means? Yeah, he's that teacher in that movie. Yeah, Breakfast Club. That's right. He did that job that dude did in Breakfast Club with John Nelson. That's right. He was sitting in the cafeteria with the students. So y'all need to calm down. So Carl Lane is like the Breakfast Club too, man. He's like Star Wars nerd and Breakfast Club. Oh my gosh, Carl Lane's awesome. And there's more reasons why you can like Carl Lane in a second. Let me tell you. He is the best ref today. Well, actually, he isn't statistically the best ref today, but he's great. He's a great ref historically for us. We win 60% of our games when he's around. We've won all 3 games he's ref this year. That is an accomplishment in itself, considering this season of losing for the Raptors. The 3 games he's refereed for us this year have all been wins for the Raptors. That's awesome. Honestly, Carl Lane, how did you do that for us? Man, the force is strong with you, Carl Lane. And meanwhile, the Nets only win 43%. So 60-43 for the Raptors with Carl Lane, super fan of the Star Wars series. There you go, Carl Lane. You're my guy. I appreciate you. The second ref is the best ref for us today. It's the tight end, Eric Dalen, out of Minnetonka, Minnesota, 16th season, number 37. Yeah, Eric Dalen is a college tight end. He played for Minnesota, the University of Minnesota, as a tight end for their football team. And that's why I call him the tight end. It's like all these refs are like Chaucer's Canterbury Tales to me at this point. It's like the protege, the dentist, the UPS driver, the tight end, they all have other jobs they did. The cop, the lawyer, the golfer, they're all cautionary chapters or whatever, like Chaucer's Canterbury Tales at this point. So we got the tight end as the second ref, and he's a big guy, of course, because he played tight end. His favorite TV show is NCIS. His favorite movie is We Were Soldiers. He likes to listen to Zach Brown. His favorite meal is chili. So maybe we could mix this up, get some chili involved with the Mexican food for Carl Lane. I don't know. Mexican and chili, that goes together, right? Right? I mean, I've gone to Taco Bell and got the chili cheese burrito, and there's chili in there. So this could work. This could work, right? His favorite app is Netflix. Hey, maybe he's one that watched that 3 body part thing you guys keep talking about. Maybe Eric Dalen's been watching that. Most like to visit. He's like to cruise around the world. Are you saying in a cruise ship? I found out something recently about cruise ships that makes me really disappointed in them. Do you understand how much fuel they burn and how much environmental pollution the cruise ships do to places? It's really awful, actually. It really, really turned me off from them. It made me happy that I've only gone on one in my entire life. And I probably will never, ever go on one again after I found out about how destructive they are with how much fuel they consume and just how much degradation to the environment they do in the places they go. So yeah, cruise ships, whatever. I mean, they're bougie and fun, but they're also not good for the planet. Let's just put it that way. Bucket list is to take a ride in a fighter jet. All right, highway to the danger zone. Eric Dalen. That's right. He played tight end for the University of Minnesota. That's right. Eric Dalen is the best ref today for the Raptors. He is awesome. We win 63% of our games. We have a 2-2 record with him this year. We've won and lost. And Nets have a horrible record with him, 36%. So 63-36 for the Raptors. The best ref today is the tight end, the middle ref. But Carl Lane ain't bad either. I'm going to say that. The third ref is a bubble ref. Ref just like John Conley we had in the last game. He's a third-year ref out of Orlando, Brandon Schwab, number 86. Brandon is interesting. He was a little douchey his first year towards the Raptors, but he was better his second year. And his third year, well, let's talk about it. His favorite TV show is Community. He likes the movie The Matrix. His favorite book is Man Searching for Meaning. He was like some Penang curry and mango with sticky rice for his food. So he's going in a whole different direction than the Mexican and the chili. This guy's wanting some sticky rice with mango and curry. So we'll see. He must like to visit Machu Picchu. Now, a lot of people go to Machu Picchu. So maybe you could get there someday, Brandon Schwab. I hope you get there someday. His favorite app is Apple Podcasts. That's right. Yeah, Brandon is an intramural official from Central Florida University. And he just happened to get plucked up because the NBA was in trouble. They couldn't move nobody around because of the pandemic. They needed some more refs. And boom, Brandon Schwab is a full-time ref now since that. So I'm telling you, he's a bubble ref. This is a bubble ref. Brandon is the worst ref today for us. We do have a winning record with him, though. This season we've been. Oh, actually, our record this year is actually pretty good with Brandon. We're 3-2. That once again, that's a winning record. And some signs I'm seeing that the ref crew coming is friendly to the Raptors. Maybe the NBA wants the Raptors to get another win. I'm hoping we can win tonight. I think we can get our 26th win. That would be awesome. Yeah, so we win 54% of our games with Brandon Schwab. We're 3-2 with him this season, and the Nets win 50%. So the split's much closer, 54-50 for the Raptors with Brandon Schwab. All three refs favoring the Raptors. And honestly, Brandon Schwab is a junior member. He's the only dubious one. The other two guys are awesome. The other two guys are fantastic refs. Yeah, I'm trying to be a lot more positive and happy towards the refs. I like them. They're our friends. We got Garrett Temple. We got Darko. We don't have Nick Nurse. We don't have Butthole Face thinking up relationships with the refs anymore. The refs have more respect for the Raptors, and they're not shafting us as often. It's amazing how bad our record is this year and how the refs were not mean to us as bad as they have been in recent years. It really is. Like they beat us up and we're laying in the alley all beat up. We can't do anything else. So they're like, go easy on them. They're already all beat up. So the refs just stopped like screwing us over. In fact, some ways, like in the game last night, they were helping us a lot. Yeah, there's times when they help us a lot right now these days. Dedrick Taylor, very helpful last night. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's see what y'all are saying. Of course, we got to react. I got my stars of the game for last night and other great stuff. I've got Instagram stories, the cosmic card of the day, all kinds of regular Raptor Freak stuff. But yeah, there's your ref report. Good stuff, Star Wars fan. Let's go, Carl Lane. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of Star Wars music, some John Williams for our guy Carl Lane. We love you, Carl. We love you. Be good to us. All right, Trevor Jace here. Good morning, Raptors family. Happy game day. Again, beautiful halftime show last night. If you didn't see it, you missed out. Oh, yeah. Holy crap. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. La, 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 la. This is how we do it. It's a Tuesday night. Yeah, I can do some Montel Jordan at halftime and the Raptors halftime show last night in person. That's right. Josh Lewenberg tweeting last night. I did not realize Montel Jordan is 6'8". That's funny. I mean, Lewenberg's a little dude. So, like, if he came up on him, he's like, this is how we do it. And Josh is like, don't step on me. My God, you're like a giant. And I'm a little man. Very, very little man. But, yeah, that was awesome. They had some really high quality musical artists at the game last night. And honestly, listen, I realized this last night. We are so lucky and blessed that we have one of the best in-game ops arena people in the whole entire league. I watched a lot of in-game ops for all 30 of the NBA teams this year, and they just don't do it like how we do it up here in the 6. I'm telling you, we do some cool stuff in our games in between breaks. We do all kinds of cool stuff, and that last one really was a party. They doing an appreciation game for the fans for doing a great job all year. Grady comes out, and he addresses the crowd and says, thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. And it really, really not a lot. Just comes out and says, I want to appreciate everybody coming this year. Thank you. And bye. Grady, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging. And Matt Devlin's like, that's the first time Grady addressed the crowd and won't be the last, is what Matt Devlin is saying. But yeah, I'm going to give a Share the Love Club to the in-game ops people for the Toronto Raptors at Scotiabank Arena very soon. The next Share the Love Club is for those guys because honestly, it struck me that this year has been fantastic with in-game ops, all the stuff they do. Strizzy, Herbie, Amber, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome, and I love y'all, and y'all do such a good job. I've seen other teams, and their stuff is horrible. So, yeah, we'll do that. I don't want to do my whole thing on that right now. But, yeah, we're going to do a Share the Love Club for our own in-game ops crew. And it's true. Like, seriously, they were talking about it during the game. Matt Devlin is saying the people that do the things in this arena to help these games be so good are such good at what they're doing and stuff. And I was like, yeah, Matt Devlin's on point on that. And the fact that they had Montel Jordan, Moni, and then another, I didn't even know who the other person was. They killed it. They were spitting bars. That one lady was going off. I was like, yeah. And I know Trevor J was the same place as me watching that halftime show last night. Just getting down. Yes, it was so good, Trevor, wasn't it? It was a straight fire. It was just as good as the Caribbean night. Though that night had badass music too during it. But the one last night, oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Whoever's in charge of this stuff, you're amazing. You are amazing. We're gonna show the love for you very soon. Raptor Freaks love you for making our games fun and all kinds of excitement and entertainment all year long in our home arena all year long. Good stuff. That's right. You missed out. If you didn't see Montel Jordan tell us, this is how we do it. Yeah, we had him in the house doing that last night. And I was like, man, why is he here? It's Tuesday night. We need him here on Friday night. I was like, oh, oh, that's right. Full name, y'all. Y'all know full name now. Come on, don't half-ass me. All right, listen. All right, let's see. 100 points to your Raptor Freak trivia score if you can get this. Let me see. I got to see who this is, first of all. Okay. Yeah, this is fun. This is a throwback. All right. First person to write it in the chat, full name, gets 100 points to the Raptor Freak score. It's coming up from down from the bottom. No clues. No clues. I think you need to get this on your own. All right. There you go. This is interesting. That does not look like who I thought it was. Yeah. Look at that. That's a hard card because the card's in a weird angle. It's not the Rockets player. It's the Spurs player. Who is that? Sean Elliott is who I thought it was, too, when I first saw it, Isaac Campbell. It's not Sean, though. It's not Sean. It's weird. It is around that area. Look at his face real good. You might be able to tell. I know it's hard to see with the camera and me probably shaking it around. No, it's not Sean. It's not Corliss Williamson either. No, it's not Sean Smooth. That's who I thought it was, too. It's a little deceiving. You got to really look at his face. That'll give it away. It's not a hard one. Bruce Brown, that's a little too recent, Fiercey. We got to go way back. Bruce Brown is Tim Duncan era. We're going David Robinson era on this one. And honestly, Sean Elliott is a teammate of this guy. So Sean Elliott's a very good guess, but it isn't Sean. That's tough. The angle's weird on his face. Maybe you can see him a little bit better now. Yeah, this guy was definitely a very important San Antonio Spur. He was probably the second most important San Antonio Spur after David Robinson when he played. And he played a lot for the Spurs in big playoff games, this guy. And he was doing very important things for the team. Vinnie Johnson. No, that's not the microwave. At this time, he was still in Detroit. Yeah, there we go. Isaac got it. That's Terry Cummings, guy. Yeah, Terry Cummings. Yeah, Terry Cummings was quite the scorer. He played for the Bucks before he played for the Spurs. And he was he had just played for like the Bucks for 4 years, and he went to the Spurs out of DePaul. They were talking about DePaul last night on the broadcast because of Javon Freeman Liberty's great game, 20 points, and all the great DePaul players. I don't think they mentioned Terry, though. Terry Cummings would have been a good one for them to mention. They mentioned Rod Strickland. Did they mention Mark Aguirre? I don't even know if they mentioned him. They didn't dig back that deep. Alvin and Matt naming the DePaul players. Well, that's funny. We got a DePaul player today on the card. Terry Cummings, a great San Antonio Spur, an underrated one that gets forgotten because he really wasn't on any championship team. He was gone before they won their first championship with Duncan. So, yeah, he's not a champion Spur, but he was a very important playoff Spur against teams like the Suns and stuff in the early 90s. Oh, my gosh, he was a good player. Yeah, Terry Cummings. Good job, Isaac. Like to see other people get the card from time to time. And Isaac, I don't think you've gotten a card yet. So I think this is good to see. Isaac Campbell knows his San Antonio Spurs. That's right. Trevor J saying JFL finally had a good game. He said after the game that he watched lots of film on IQ because he's one of the best point guards in the league. Actually, you know what he said? He said he's one of the greatest point guards in the league, and then he caught himself. JFL is not totally media savvy. He's funny. Like in some ways, I know that they taught him just repeat some of the things that they're saying to you. If in some ways he was doing that. His interviews was just so silly in some ways. And then Darko's interview about him was very telling also. So, yeah, the interviews after the game go watch them. Just go watch them. You can see what JFL, like, yeah, a lot of the things. All right, listen, the things that I don't like about JFL that I don't think he should be on our team next year were illustrated in the post-game interviews by both of them, by Freeman Liberty and Rajakovic. And I'll just say that. But, yeah, he's watching a lot of IQ. He thinks he's the greatest or one of the best point guards in the league right now. And I won't disagree with him. I won't disagree with him on that. That was a very nice thing for him to say. But yeah, Monique is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. 140 points by the Pacers. Raptors gave up in the third, going in the fourth. Didn't stay because my ride came at 8:45 instead of 9:30. Shaking my head. I did my best this season. Go Raptors. Fuck the Nets. There you go. Fuck Brooklyn. Monique woke up on the side of the bed that said, fuck Brooklyn. I love it. You go, super fan. I know. Listen, in some ways, you need to get out of there, I guess. That's too bad that they messed up your ride back and it came too early. But it's not that the game changed or anything after you left. It pretty much was the same thing right on out from that point in the game. So, hey, you went down there. You said you had your last dance with the season for the team this year. You saw a bunch of people. I saw that you were hanging out with Danielle Michaud last night. Monique, that's awesome. Getting the picture with Roger Sportsnet personality Danielle Michaud. Love to see the superfan getting love from the broadcast crews and getting acknowledged. That's right. Acknowledge her is what I'm saying, y'all. Just like the head of the table on the Roman Reigns, the bloodline and stuff. Just acknowledge Monique Danielle Michaud. That's what I'm saying. That's right. And I love it. I love it. She's very sweet to you, I'll bet. And what a great picture of you guys yesterday. That was awesome. Mo, thanks for going down there all year long. Now they're on the road. On the road again. Right away, we get on the road again. Going through customs at Pearson with my friend. I just can't wait to get on a red eye to Brooklyn again. Yeah, from 4 a.m. arrivals last night, I'm sure. All that bullshit. Yeah, get it out of the way one more time. Very interesting about the Miami trip this weekend. Apparently, the game on Sunday is at 1 p.m., y'all. So Alvin and Matt are talking about it on the broadcast last night, and they're saying, like, yeah, we're not going out on Saturday night. It's going to be one of those, like, bed checks, is what Alvin said. Like, teams do this. If they have an early game, because they used to have the NBC at noon games all the time. Yeah, they'd have it, like, at noon. And I remember going to work for those games back in the Vinsanity days. It sucked having to get up after a Saturday night and come down the arena for a noon or a 1 o'clock game on a Sunday afternoon. It was never fun, especially since I worked in the goth bar, a Velvet Underground on Queen Street after work at the ACC. I'd have to do my double shift, and I get done at like 4 a.m. every night at the bar. So when I had to turn around from a Saturday night work until 4 a.m. in the bar and come back down to the Air Canada Center to work a basketball game, something like the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe against the Raptors and Vince, like noon on a Sunday. It was awful. It was dreadful. And I was drinking then. So I was always hungover and sometimes still drunk, honestly. I don't drive in the city because I walk to work. But yeah, it'd be weird. I'd be coming into work and I'd still be drunk from the night before. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, early game on Sunday, just so y'all know, 1 p.m. start. So we'll be ready for that with the stream time. Let's try and cut it down so we can get done in time to watch the game. No Lexathon on Sunday, y'all. We can't do that. We can't do that. Yeah, we can't do that. All right, let's keep going. Trevor said, Darko says he wants Oshai to do more to the reporters. That sounds weird, but anyway, no, I know what you mean. No, he wants Oshai to improve his defense. In some ways, he said in his interview last night about Abaji that he wants him to really like focus on that aspect of his game. That is what we value from him, obviously. And he's doing a great job. And there's a reason why we value it from him, because he's blocking shots like all the time. And he's doing amazing work on defense. So he said, yeah, I'm totally want him to focus on specific things with his defensive game to improve even further. And the thing about his shooting is what he said is, look, in practice, he's shooting very well. In practice, I see him shooting a high percentage, and I'm not worried about his three-point shot. So in some ways, he's not really worried about his offensive game. He wants him to focus and get even better on defense in certain ways. That's Darko's own words last night after the game. So, yeah, I think he's very happy with Abaji. And he kind of seemed gleeful talking about how he wants to hone the defensive skills of Oshai Abaji. Yeah, he was great. Monique is saying we were definitely jamming at halftime show. Epic. Yeah, it was jamming. It was jamming. It was going off. This is how we do it. in Toronto, we have a badass halftime show. That's right. I mean, it was so good. They had Moni come out early and do a song like in one of the breaks. And I was like, this is different. We're getting a musical artist in the middle of the first half. This isn't even halftime. And they're going to bring somebody out and sing a song already. I was like, yeah. And she came out and did a part of the halftime show. Trevor was like, that's MC Light. I'm like, no, that's Moni, man. That's Moni. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Mo's saying Lex must be thrilled with JFL. We definitely going to hear it today. It's only right. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. You want me to talk about JFL last night? Yes, I was so happy for Javon Freeman Liberty. He did what I was hoping he would do. In some ways, I don't know. They made a big deal out of him making 20. Well, what did I say yesterday? Javon, we want you to get 20 tonight. And well, he did. He did. I was so proud of him that he did go out there and get 20. And this is what Darko said after the game. This is the thing. Javon Freeman Liberty has to be aggressive. His game is an aggressive game. He has to take it to them. This is something I've said in the last 2 weeks. Well, when he does that, he's right. When he doesn't do that, he's not. And, well, he was aggressive last night right away from the start of the game. Got 16 points in, like, the first quarter. And that was badass. And he was actually playing very high level, making his threes, stealing the ball, getting up and down the court really fast. And I was so proud of him. This is what I had been waiting for from him. And that's what Darko said. When he first came up, he lost his aggressiveness. And that is who he is as a person on the court, as a player. And in some ways, Darko was encouraging him to get back to being the regular Javon Freeman Liberty that is aggressive and does what he does. Now, I will say this, and I had predicted this yesterday morning, that the matchup was conducive for Javon Freeman Liberty to go off because it's the Pacers, and their strength is not defense. So this is the kind of game where he is tailor-made for Javon Freeman Liberty to go off. I also knew if the Raptors were going to have any chance to beat the Pacers, we're going to need a contribution from him without some of the main scorers on our team out. In fact, you could argue our three best scorers were out yesterday. Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Grady Dick. I mean, I could include RJ in that group too. But I'm just saying there's a lot of scoring firepower that was lacking for the Raptors against the Pacers last night. And it was evident in our three-point shooting. Of all the nights for Gary Trent Jr. to go 0 for 7, that was not the night when we didn't have Grady or IQ to make threes also. So that was a big, huge key in the game last night. The fact that they made triple the threes that we made is really bad. And when you don't have Grady out there, a sure shot, steady, who's going to get a couple himself, IQ's going to get a couple. Yeah, we need Gary to make them. And Gary didn't make none. 0 for 7. Yikes. But JFL did pretty good. All right. He's not my star of the game, though. He's not the number one star. But JFL is one of the stars. But, yeah, I was really proud of him. Of course, Darko illustrated all of my points about why JFL is just not totally good for the NBA. In some ways, he said it exactly. I mean, it was funny. It was kind of comical, the interviews with JFL yesterday. Like, I think Grange asked him straight up. It's like, if you have that body type and that size, why didn't you practice becoming a point guard more when you were younger? He straight up asked JFL that. He's like, JFL's like, he's so goofy. And in some ways, this is part of the reason why I'm not real big on him. He says, I've always tried to share the ball with people and stuff like that, but I'm just so good at scoring. I just score. And so there's something not adding up here. Seriously. There's something not adding up here. It's something weird about this whole perception of him, point guard. He's not a point guard. And Darko says straight up, he's not a point guard. He said, we're trying to make him into a point guard. And it's not easy, is what he said. And JFL said, yeah, it's going to be a process. It's going to be a long process to make me a point guard. He said that himself. That's not making you attractive to me to be on this team. What, do you want us to wait around for you to learn how to play point guard? Something that you should have probably started practicing and doing since you were a young child? Like, seriously, I don't get this. There's a disconnect here, Javon Freeman Liberty. It's like, look, bro, you should have been practicing point guard your whole life. You say, no, I'm unselfish. I always wanted to set up my teammates, but I was always so good that I was the one who had to score. There's something wrong here. There's some logic that ain't right here. And in some ways, I don't want him to connect how to be a point guard all of a sudden or wait for him to do that. I don't want to put in the time and keeping him around if he's not a true point guard. And Darko said exactly what I've been saying all season. Javon is not sized right for any other position than the point guard. And if he doesn't play point guard, that's really tough because he's an undersized 2. He's an undersized 3. This is exactly what I've been telling y'all all year. Darko said it himself in the post-game interview about Javon. So this is a weird thing. Someone's going to have to give because he's not sized other than any other position than point guard. And the man doesn't know how to play point guard. He even admits it. He says, it's going to be a long process for me to learn how to play point guard. Do y'all want to wait for him to learn how to play point guard? No, I want somebody who already knows how to play point guard. Marquise Noel. Seriously. In some ways, if we're really wanting to get a backup point guard, a guy who's a textbook point guard is going to get more assists than turnovers and be pass first. Marquise Noel is already in our system and is that guy. I keep forgetting about him because he got hurt and we didn't see him a whole lot in this year near the end. But listen, we're all worried about having a backup point guard. We keep forgetting about Marquise. Marquise is a textbook backup point guard right now. In some ways, he doesn't need to learn how to become a point guard like Javon. It was really kind of silly. In some ways, Javon, once again, is shooting himself in the foot in interviews because he's telling all this stuff, like whether it's like, oh, I'm going to have fun while I'm still here. The one comment that I talked about in the beginning of the year. Now he's saying stuff, yeah, I'm not a point guard, and it's going to be taking me a long time to learn how to be a point guard. Is that attractive to y'all? And even Darko doesn't seem that enthused about Javon and his possibilities for the future with this team. Seriously, you go back and watch the post-game interviews and you tell me what it seems like listening to both of them. Seriously. Yeah, very interesting stuff there. Trevor's saying finally Malik Williams got his first NBA points, 6 points, 9 rebounds. Yeah, it took a few games. In some ways, man, I hate this guy. In some ways, I'm sad that we got him right now instead of somebody from 905 that may be more deserving. In some ways, I understand. They got Malik Williams partly because of Jordan Nwora and their Louisville connection as Cardinals in their college days. But, man, what a big fail Malik has been. You know, he's gotten some good rebounds, but that's it. He's still missing bunnies. He missed 2 free throws in a row last night. This is not how you make the NBA. You get called up. You got to be perfect and do everything you're supposed to do right. And he just doesn't look like it. In some ways, he's one of the worst 10 days we've ever gotten, honestly. Ever. Seriously. And I'm even including those replacement players like Tremont Waters and stuff. No, this guy is a fail all around. And it's great for him to finally score in the NBA and get a little burn. But, man, that guy sucks. I'm just going to say that right now. Malik Williams sucks. And honestly, he's not an NBA player. He's not good enough. He's not making shots the right way. He's missing free throws. There's a lot of fundamental flaws in his game. He's a big body, so what? He can rebound, so what? He's not like that good on defense either. So yeah, a big F on Malik Williams from me. This 10 days been a fail, bro. And honestly, he's got no future with us. I mean, he's been an absolute fail. Oh my gosh. G saying MSJ must feel good about this game. Yeah. I was thinking about Chris while I was watching Javon in the first quarter, and I was like, listen, I was rooting him on. If you saw me in the Facebook chat, I was like, that's right, JFL. Come on, do what I've been wanting you to do this whole time. Get aggressive. Get in there and get your points yourself. Go take them. Go take them, Javon. And he did. He did it in a very good way. He's a very accomplished scorer. He's very good at scoring. But once again, he's going to get blocked a lot because he's too short. And sometimes he needs proximity. Now, he did that one move that Matt Devlin called the vet move, which was hilarious when he started saying that. Oh, that's a vet move. He had the guy on his back, and he had another defender in front of him, and he made the shot holding the guy off on his back. You saw that move. Well, it was funny. Matt Devlin said, that's a vet move. And he started talking about it. And Alvin was kind of like, oh, okay, Matt. And he's like, yeah, you're teaching me about the game. That was hilarious. That was a hilarious part when Javon hit that one shot like that. That was really funny. That was really good. Let's see. Kareem Thomas saying Javon Freeman Liberty belongs. That's all. I will disagree. In fact, in some ways, the interviews after the game, Kareem, tell me even more that he does not. And I will disagree. This is listen, it's the Pacers. He has a good matchup against them because they don't have a good defense. Any of these other teams that we played, it's the same. It's like otherwise. So I'm going to say this is a matchup that's conducive to Javon's game. And that's why he can look good like he does. All right, let's do the stars. Since it's at this point of the stream, let me see. Where are my stars of the game? Oh, crap. I need to bring up that spreadsheet again real quick. Let me see. My number one star of the game is Kelly Olynyk. And really, it's because Kelly mixed up a bag of tricks in that game last night. I would call that game last night a Kelly Olynyk mixtape. Seriously, you saw that step back shot that he wowed everybody with. He had some fakes last night in the game that were awesome, some misdirections. There was a one play where he kind of rocked them to sleep, as Alvin said, and then went to the basket, laid it up. He was also doing really good things like drawing fouls. Last night was like a Kelly Olynyk mixtape, and I loved it. Like you saw all the different little bag of tricks that Kelly does, like as a vet, to help his team win. Whether it's drawing a charge, whether it's like drawing weird fouls. Like I don't even know how he got some of those fouls called because in some cases he was the bigger player and the other player was smaller, and he made it look like he was the one who got fouled, which was so incredibly masterful. In some ways, he did a little move that got kept us the ball, but then JFL tried to do the same move immediately afterwards, and it turned the ball back over to the other team. It kind of annoyed me because Kelly had saved the ball and given us possession, and then JFL got all tangled up with somebody. You're not gonna get the same respect as Kelly Olynyk guy. And in some ways, it was like, you just turned the ball over us because, listen, the refs are going to call it fair. They're going to do like, all right, we gave this one to them. And then JFL does the same exact play afterwards. Like, well, we've got to do it fair back the other way. And so it kind of annoyed me. But Kelly Olynyk was awesome. It's not pretty. That guy is goofy as hell. But, man, is he effective. And I love it. I love it so much. Everything about it is so awesome. The dream that he had in his driveway in Scarborough is lived on that court in Toronto, coming out there, his mom crying on the sideline, seeing her son in a Raptors jersey. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And Kelly has been such a player that I have hated. I've hated Kelly for most of his career in the NBA. I seriously have. He's the one Canadian player that I always hated because he played for Miami and Boston in his early career, and he was against us in the playoffs. So it's a really kind of an interesting career story with me in particular, as far as how I feel about him. I did not start liking Kelly until last summer, y'all, until I watched Team Canada with you guys. I've always hated Kelly Olynyk historically. And now to see all the things that I used to hate about him on our side against the other team is awesome. It's so awesome. I mean, I'm not lying. I used to really hate Kelly. I did not like Kelly for like 10 years of his career. Pretty much most of his career up until last year. Seriously. I mean, when he was on the Pistons and the Jazz, he wasn't as much annoying to me. But when he was on the Celtics and the Heat, I hated his ass. I absolutely hated him. So it's kind of cool to come full circle with him and be like, you know what? I kind of, it's kind of weird. It's a weird thing. It's different. All right. Yeah. Let's go look at Kelly's stat line. Because it's very interesting. He shot really well. 6 for 7. He only missed one shot last night. 1 for 1 from 3. 9 of 10 at the free throw line. Very good shooting. True shooting. Fantastic. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 22 points in 34 minutes, a minus 17 for Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, you were awesome, man. My number 1 star of the game. JFL is my 2nd star of the game. Yeah, I got to give some credit to JFL too. It's just that Kelly was wowing us with such crazy moves, and the bench loved it. Scotty was like, Kelly, you're awesome. It was so fun to see them react to Kelly's craziness out there. Because he did. He had some really cool moves. In fact, some of them could be on the NBA thing. Seriously, if they weren't so goofy, they might be on like NBA top 10 highlight. That step back may get on there. Seriously, that step back was really impressive. Like he made a guy fall down. Like Kelly's a big lumbering guy. How the hell is he making people fall over like their ankles are broken? Seriously, that's Kelly. He's not like he's super fast like Kyrie Irving. Seriously, how's he doing that? JFL, really great start. Fantastic start. In some ways, listen, you did some things last night that were awesome. Now, he came out so hot. I was like, will you do a Malachi tonight, guy? Seriously, I said 20 this morning, but you got 16 in the first quarter. You go for like 30? Can you go even further, JFL? Well, it tailored off, and he didn't do so much for the rest of the game after the first quarter. 7 for 10, 2 of 3 from 3. Fantastic job with the threes. 4 for 4 at the free throw line. 8 rebounds, which was fantastic. 1 steal, a minus 11 with 20 points. Now, I didn't say his assist because he only got 1 assist, and that's what I'm saying. This guy's not a point guard. He only got 1 assist in the game last night, and he's not going to balance the game like IQ does. I'm sorry. He's going to be mostly himself and only himself. That's easy to figure out, and especially when he's undersized and stuff, this is not something he's going to be able to do all the time. He will not be able to be consistently like he was last night against most of the teams in the league. So it's still a hard pass by me, even if he had his best game as a Raptor last night. And like I said, watch the interviews with JFL and Darko last night after the game And it will tell you more about why the future of JFL being on the Raptors is probably not that good. In fact, I think that Darko gave a couple tells that he's like, yeah, it's been nice. In some ways, what they're doing with JFL is rewarding him for 905. They're rewarding him for a great year in 905 and being such a stellar player down there. It does not necessarily mean that he's a part of the Raptors' idea for the future. I may be wrong. We'll have to see. In some ways, JFL's battle is in training camp next year. That's the next stage. Now, obviously, he's going to go to Summer League. I don't know if he's going to play on the Summer League team because he's kind of more of a vet. Maybe he will. And then, training camp. And that's where he's going to have to carve out his reasons for why he deserves a spot on the Raptors team. And I don't say, listen, if Darko visualizes him as an undersized shooting guard that needs to be playing point guard that doesn't know how to play point guard, that's not a good sign. I'm going to say that right now. That's not good for him in boating into the future. The third star is RJ Barrett. I really like what RJ did last night. He had that passion, that fire. He was getting the ball high on the glass and dropping in. He was making really, really strong moves. Once again, I love that one move where he kind of he rocked Siakam to sleep. Siakam's a longer arm player than him, and Siakam was guarding him. And RJ really did a really smart move to beat Siakam to the basket, and that was really impressive to me. RJ 10 for 19, shooting over 50%. He did miss all 3 of his 3 attempts. 3 for 3 at the free throw line. I like to see that. RJ's had struggles at the free throw line since he's been a Raptor. 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 5 turnovers though, 23 points in 33 minutes. Yeah, RJ was solid in scoring and carrying and doing everything. He was carrying his weight. Let's just put it that way. In some ways, the firepower of the Pacers it killed us. They played 14 players last night. We had not as many players available. And then, also, once again, the threes are killing us. We only made 5 of 21 threes, and they made 16 of 45. That is a lot of points for a point differential, is in the threes itself. When you make 11 more threes, that's 33 more points. And yeah, that's crazy. And we lost by 17 points. So we made it up in the points in the paint. In fact, Darko was really pleased with that. He's like, yeah, we did beat them in the points in the paint, which was good. But another thing that Darko pointed out is a big reason why the Pacers beat us last night is second chance. That we are allowing too many offensive rebounds. Some of it because they shoot threes so much and they're long rebounds. They're not tracking them down, not boxing out. And second chance conversion by the Indiana Pacers last night was at a high level. So every single time they got missed a shot, they were getting a second chance often last night. And that really killed us. That really, really killed us in some ways. I didn't mind how the Raptors played for most of the game. It was a goofy game. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in the game. It's fun to watch Siakam. It's fun to watch JFL and the guys that I was just talking about, Kelly and RJ. But in some ways, I was entertained. But then they separated and they made a big, huge gap in the second half. And I was pissed. I was like, no, don't lose by this much. I wanted them to close the gap as much as they could, make it competitive. Alas, there was a really interesting part where the Raptors came out once again in the first quarter and were gangbusters. At the beginning of the season, we were really bad at starting games. We could not have the lead in the first quarter. Often teams would come out and blow us out in the first quarter. Well, we're at the end of the season, the last 2 games, we've absolutely blown our opponent out in the first quarter where they can't score because our defense is so top-notch and our team is already dialed in and jumping on them at the beginning offensively. I love that. That's a very interesting change from the start of the season to now, that all of a sudden we're fast starters and we're a team that's dialed in and locked in professionally right away as soon as the jump ball. So that's an awesome trend that I'm noticing right now. Now, the thing is that defensive intensity is not getting transferred to the second unit and keeping up and after they come in. But those starters, man, they're dialed in and on a string, and they're really playing well with each other, off of each other defensively. And that's awesome. That's something to build off of. We can see more and more of that. And we get Scotty and Yaka back. That bumps everybody down the depth chart. And the intense defense and quality goes further down the depth chart too. So, man, crazy, crazy, crazy. In some ways, Siakam, I salute you. Good job, my guy. Good job. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Kareem saying 911. What's your emergency? Hello. Wait, whoa. 911. What's your emergency? Hi, I'm being attacked. What is your name? My name is Rim. Do you know the alleged attacker? Yes, his name is RJ. hopefully, hope Scotty replicates RJ's formula. Listen, RJ, man, he has a fierceness when he throws it down. It's nasty. It is nasty. The passion is there. The fight is there. The competitiveness is there. He is fighting and fighting and fighting. They may not be getting fouls all the time like they should be, Gary and RJ. And maybe there was a little bit too much complaining last night. Alvin got mad about it at one point in the game. He said, "These guys are making me mad. They're complaining too much to the refs." The old head and Alvin didn't like it. And I would agree. We do better when we're not all on the refs and stuff like that. Diedrich was looking out. Trust me. That was the butt crew. That was the butt crew. Courtney Kirkland, Danica Mosier, and Diedrich Taylor. They all have pronounced gluteus maximuses. Yeah, you watch them run around out there. The butt crew. It's not a derogatory thing. They just have very healthy haunches and buttocks. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. The butt crew. It's cool. But yeah, no, Diedrich was looking out for us. Diedrich is our favorite ref. Seriously, he was giving us possession all over the place that we probably shouldn't have gotten. Seriously, he was screwing over the Pacers to a degree last night by giving us the ball over and over again when possibly it might have been out on us. So, Diedrich Taylor, we love you, man. You're awesome. Keep blindly calling stuff for us. Danica wasn't bad. Danica wasn't bad. And Courtney Kirkland was fair too. The challenges were all very interesting with Courtney. It's fun to hear Courtney Kirkland tell us like all the good things about winning a challenge and saying, oh, they keep their timeout and they keep their challenge. And I was like, thank you, Courtney Kirkland. That's music to my ears to hear you say that about Darko challenging the call and getting it. It was a goaltend by Jordan Wara. It was not a goaltend. He got it before it hit the backboard, and it was a great challenge call. And Jordan had the confidence to know that and told them, yeah, no, take it back. And boom, it worked. Now, there was a goaltend early in the game that they did not catch that we should have had an extra 2 points. So in some ways, I could say that our score should have been 2 points higher because Oshai Abaji had a block on him that was actually goaltend very early in the game that they did not catch. Matt Devlin and Alvin talked about it and pointed it out. So in some ways, the Raptors were shortchanged 2 points last night. We know that. Yeah, alley-oop to Kareem for calling 911 for RJ Barrett's attack. Yeah, all right, we'll do that. Kareem Thomas, you are up in the teens now, in the hundreds. You're 115. 115. Wow, I don't even know how to make jokes about those numbers. Those numbers aren't meaningful to me in some way. I don't know, 115. Where is that? I don't know what that is. Cowboys got RJ on blast. I love it. I love it. Chris is here. All right, Chris is here. He's coming in to get the glory of Freeman Liberty. 20 points and 8 rebounds is my kind of guard. It's not mine. When they went through him in the first quarter, we saw his game. In the corner, the rest of the game was fine. Could have gone for 30, natural hooper. Yeah, I won't disagree. He's a natural hooper. He could have gone for 30. In fact, I was projecting it after the good first quarter, but he didn't get there. He only got 4 more points, so he faded away. So in some ways, it's like, Oh, yeah, he's got the new emoji. Yeah, he made a JFL emoji from last night. Awesome. Yeah, I see that now. Yeah, JFL emoji. That's cool. Listen, 20 points, 8 rebounds is not my kind of point guard. I want 8 assists, 20 points and 8 assists. And that's the thing, man. He just told on himself after the game, Chris. You need to watch the post-game interview. I don't know if you normally watch the post-game interviews, Chris, but this is specifically one you need to watch, the one from last night with Darko and Javon. And it will tell you a lot of the reason why I'm not high on him. So you go ahead and watch that. Seriously, you need to listen to JFL answer questions to the press, and you need to hear what he's saying. Seriously, like listen to him, and then listen to Darko afterwards, and you will get the idea why I've said what I've said about Freeman Liberty for most of the season. Seriously. Cowboys saying my 3 stars go to RJ, Javon, and Kelly. Yeah, who would my honorary star go to? Who's the extra person I would give a star to from last night for the Raptors? Who I was kind of thinking about giving a star to was Wara. Wara had a mixed bag of things. Wara had problems at a certain point where he was doing dumb things, but then he once again shook himself out of it and he started doing good things. Like he hit a couple threes. He was one of the only guys who hit any threes for us. Him and JFL were like had 4 of our 5 3-pointers. So Wara 4 for 6, 2 for 2 from 3, 1 for 2 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. He had some fantastic blocks. Like he was doing some Oshai Abaji kind of blocking stuff, Jordan Wara, which was awesome. 11 points for Jordan. So if I have an honorable mention, him. Bruce Brown, double agent. He had statistically a good game, but every time he was on the court, I hated it. Honestly, he really pisses me off. In some ways, I can tell he's on cruise control right now. He's not trying all out. He's doing this dumb little scooty run where he's not running full blast. He's kind of just like scooty run. And I can tell you're half-assing it, man. In some ways, Bruce Brown, the way you miss free throws, the way you kind of half-ass things, like with turnovers come happening to you, that's the thing I don't like. You had 2 turnovers, you missed 2 free throws. 7 of 12, missed his only 3-point shot, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 16 points. Technically a good game, a good shooting game by Bruce Brown, but I swear there's some subterfuge there. He was very friendly with the Pacers, his former team that he got traded from this season to us, and talking a lot of trash to them on the bench. And then also sometimes I'm wondering, are you trying to help them? One thing I will say about losing to the Pacers and Siakam last night, we really helped them out because the teams underneath them won, the Sixers, and they need to keep that breathing room away from Nick Nurse, Kyle Lowry, and the Philadelphia 76ers because they are coming up to try and get a full-fledged playoff spot from the Pacers. So in some ways, the hidden benefit of us losing to Siakam and the Pacers last night is we hurt the Sixers and Nick Nurse. And I'm all for that, seriously. If I have to choose one of those 2 teams to do something in the postseason, of course I'm going with Siakam. So hurting Nick and the Sixers by us losing to the Pacers and them having more wins is, hey, I'm okay with that. In some ways, that makes losing to them last night a lot better. Gary Trent was annoying last night. As I said, 0 for 7 from 3. This is something, it's weird. Gary was doing all these and one moves near the basket, and he's good at these. He does these. He's falling down and he lofts the shot up and it banks into the basket, and it's fantastic. And then he gets a free throw. But his 3 just did not go down last night. 0 for 7, 7 and 19 overall, 2 of 4 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, though. I got to give him credit for those steals. He was really on the ball in certain ways. 16 points. I just wish he had hit some shots from outside in some ways. Abaji, 0 for 6. I don't care, though. This is the thing. Abaji can shoot 0 for 6 and only get 2 points. And I'm like, that man is doing awesome things out there. It really is 3 blocks by that little guy. Getting 3 blocks at his size, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. In some ways, look, Ibaji is very productive in helping us in all kinds of different ways, even if he doesn't score. So he is getting a pass with me to a degree. And honestly, I can tell that Darko's enthusiastic about him for next year just from the interview after the game, too. So, yeah, that was cool. Off the bench, other guys, Jalen McDaniels, 3 for 7. He looked really goofy and awkward at times, but also promising once again. Goofy and awkward, not very good at times, but also it's weird. It's like Jalen McDaniels is like a fawn, like a little baby deer that just hasn't got their legs under them correctly. That in some ways they're still trying to learn to walk or even trot or something like that. I don't know. It's this point in his career, you would think he would be more sure of like with his footing and his footwork and just kind of like the basics of like fundamentals of playing basketball in a way where he can score and open himself up for shots. I just don't see it. It's so weird. He's so clunky. And in some ways, he's not playing intelligently. He's just playing like a finesse kind of slasher kind of weird thing. But his length and his talents really get him so far, but they don't totally because he's not footwork right. His footwork isn't right, and there's some fundamentals that are lacking with Jalen McDaniels, which is too bad. In some ways, I blame the current era of not teaching youngsters the right way. And in some ways, Jalen should have probably been taught basketball a different way than he was when he's raised. And it sucks because I feel like a lot of American players are not getting trained correctly. And JFL and Jalen McDaniels are good examples of this. Seriously, JFL, you should have known your height was going to be your height. You should have been training to be a point guard since you were a teenager. And the fact that you are now learning how to be a point guard in the NBA, I'm sorry. I don't want to take the time to have you learn on the job. That's just a folly. It's going to cause all kinds of unnecessary turnovers just because you didn't take those mistakes and learn that role before you came to the NBA. That's just a fail. That's just a big fail all in general of poor planning and maybe ego that tells you, oh, I'm just going to be exactly who I am and I'm going to fit in the NBA. No, motherfucker. You have to fit molds that the NBA needs to be in the league. And the audacity of you thinking, oh, I'm just going to be a baller scorer guy at my height and I'm going to make the league. You're not good enough to do that. There's other guys that are good enough that can get away with that. people like Russell Westbrook. But no, listen, listen, you should have been practicing being a point guard all along. And I'm not gonna wait for you to catch up. Seriously, it's messed up and it's stupid. Yeah. So there's looking at there's stuff. Siakam on the other side, 27 minutes, 6 to 10, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds. He was really good on the offensive glass. Siakam, 5 offensive rebounds, some good putbacks, 3 assists. He was part of the reason the problem was 2 blocks, 16 points for Siakam. But the guy who really killed us was Halliburton, 30 points. Abaji was trying to guard him at times. It was tough. Halliburton's very at a certain point late in the game, he was surgical with hitting his three just to really separate and win the game for them. Other guys of note, Miles Turner was very much a factor, 16 points. It was interesting, some from three, some from inside. And then on the bench, Obi Toppin. Wow, he may have been the MVP for them on the other side. First, it was corner threes in the early of the game, and then later on, poster dunks all over the place, and no interior defense by us. And Obi Toppin's having his own little personal slam dunk competition in the game all of a sudden. In fact, Obi scored 23 points in 22 minutes last night. That is absolutely badass. 10 for 14 from the field, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He's a very underrated pickup by the Pacers, and he may come in very, very handy for them in the playoffs this year. In some ways, it's fun to see Obi palling around with RJ and Manuel from their New York Knicks days. They're very close friends. And, there's a lot of smack talking between the Pacers and the Raptors, and none of it is unfriendly. It's all very good-natured smack talking going both ways. In fact, there was a point where Siakam had the ball at near our bench, and Scotty was standing there, and Siakam made a little move, and Scotty went off like crazy on the ref, saying he just traveled. So he's trying to get his friend Siakam in trouble. That's how competitive Scotty is. He probably joked with Siakam in practice over the years while he was still with us. You travel when you make that move, Siakam. He's like, Siakam's probably, no, I don't, Scotty. I don't travel when I do that. You travel when you do that, Pascal. And so in the game, now that they're on opposite teams, when Siakam makes that particular move, Scotty jumps off of the seat and he says, he traveled. Scotty is a real one. He really does care about this team. And it's so crazy to see in his injury just how engaged he is. He's so awesome, man. Scotty is just, he impresses me more and more in weird ways as time goes on. I mean, I'm impressed that he wants to be a part of this condo at Bathurst. I'm impressed that it's trade school. I'm impressed by him being on Twitch in the first place. I'm impressed by him sitting on the bench and jumping around and being like a coach, yelling out defensive assignments. Scotty, you are a real one. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, there's different Pacers that cause problems. TJ McConnell, it was really weird. There was one point where Bruce Brown posted up TJ McConnell. I know there was shit talk going on there because they're friends, they're teammates once again. And after that, all of a sudden TJ went crazy and started making all these little short shots near the basket in mid-range. And I was like, why is TJ McConnell killing us on the inside? This is awful. Why is this happening? and at one point, that was why RJ slammed the ball on the floor because TJ McConnell was burning them. And he was like, oh, he slammed the ball. I love seeing RJ getting pissed like that because stupid baskets like TJ McConnell, he really cares. So see, I'm telling you, we're seeing people care in all kinds of weird ways. Well, there's RJ slamming the ball after TJ McConnell makes a really junky, stupid shot. Really cool stuff with that. So our team really cares. I love that. But yeah, the Pacers played a lot of players yesterday, and we didn't have as many as they outshot us. They got more shots they got more threes. We did get to the line a lot. They were helping us get the line. Thank you, Diedrich and Courtney and Danica. 33 free throws to their 23. We did shoot better than them. They did out-rebound us. Our assists were not good. This is another reason why I don't like JFL, guys. If he's going to be the starting point guard, we need to have more than 21 assists. In some ways, he's got to be the leader on that. And that's not a point guard if he's only getting 1 assist. I'm sorry. He had his best game of the year, and I still don't like him for long term. I think he had a great game last night. I was proud of him. But honestly, there's the role you got to fit the mold to be in the NBA. And in some ways, he's not trying to fit the mold. In some ways, he's been arrogant in his whole life and I'm just going to be a street hooper. Well, if you're going to just be a street hooper, you're going to be at Rucker Park. You're going to be a street hooping at the Y. You're going to be down at Good Life. You could be down at LA Fitness. Yeah, if you want to play that style. If you want to play in the NBA, you need to become a point guard because you're 6'3", and you need to become a point guard. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I knew that logically all year long. I was like, he's a great scorer. He can do this in G League, but he won't do this in the NBA. And y'all have seen the evidence of this in recent games. JFL getting blocked like crazy near the basket. The Pacers have no interior defense. Of course, he can do the things he could do last night. In some ways, that's part of it right there. Yeah. Let's see. Cowboys saying, I read that. G saying, one day Lex said Kelly was a hybrid hockey and basketball player with his body checks, and now I can't unsee it in games. Yeah. Yeah. He's so Canadian. He is. I am Canadian. That's what Kelly Olynyk's saying. He's so Canadian. Oh my gosh, he's so Canadian. In some ways, he looks like somebody in my family. He looks like he could be my cousin. Seriously. I have a cousin who looks kind of like him. Olynyk, he's awesome, man. I love him so much, even though I hated him for like a decade. It's really crazy. But yeah, he's a hybrid. Seriously. You can see the hockey influence in his game, the physicalness, the very smart like acting. He's very good. That's the thing. He knows what the refs look for and what they will call whistles on. He's very savvy. And just that kind of knowledge alone for people like Scotty and Grady is invaluable. Anybody who thinks that old heads and vets being on teams is not valuable, that's bullshit. Because Kelly Olynyk will be able to teach Scotty Barnes and Grady Dick how to manipulate referee whistles with the certain tricks. And I'm telling you, there's so much gold to be mined from that. Oh my gosh. He just fits Darko's system really well too, because he's a really good passer. And in some ways, I get the feeling that Kelly is more free in his NBA career than ever in his life. That, listen, he's been on very good teams when he was younger in the playoffs with Miami and Boston, but in a limited role, a very specific role as a center, a backup center. And then he went to shitty teams for a while. And that's not fun, playing for Detroit, playing for nothing, BS. Well, now he's in a situation where he's getting to do everything he wants to do on the court to a degree. He's getting to bring the ball up, dribbling it up. He's getting to be a hub on offense and passing a lot. He's getting to really show his great passing skills for cutters. And he's getting to do some cool stuff with his shot, too, whether it's like that crazy, weird step back that he did last night. His threes are fun. And then he has all kinds of weird loopy Olajuwon kind of weird, slow Olajuwon moves where he's spinning and twirling around the basket and laying it up, faking and some Kevin McHale up and under shit. It's really, really fun. And I think in some ways he's more liberated than ever. Like he can do a lot more for us in certain ways than he could for Utah when he was on Utah earlier this season. They have him very painted in a role. And, with people like Markkanen and other people around that team that are doing other things. Well, we needed him to do a whole bunch recently. And in some ways, that's fun to him, to feel important, to have a very expanded role, and to also play for your hometown and a team that you dreamed of playing for when you're a little kid. Yeah, pinch him. Pinch the Canadian story, the heritage moment of Kelly Olynyk. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam. Happy Wednesday. That's right. Fiercey reminding us that it is Wednesday. And Wednesday was one of our best days to win games this season. Well, Wednesday kind of went away in the second half of the season, but at the beginning of the season, we were winning on Wednesday a lot. Well, I have a feeling we're going to win tonight, Fiercey. I have a feeling, a good feeling. The Nets are not that strong. In some ways, we need a second Atlantic Division win. We need to even up the series with the Nets. And Darko's competitive. These guys are competitive. They come back with IQ and hopefully Grady, and boom, maybe we have a good chance. It could be, I'm going to speculate this, that RJ is going to sit tonight. Yeah. I'm going to speculate that maybe him and Kelly might sit tonight. I don't know. I don't know if we can afford to sit our center because we really don't have anybody else. I'm not going to count Malik Williams at this point. In some ways, we may very much need Kelly. I don't know. We'll have to see how they handle it. It could very well be some of the guys who played last night are going to be sitting, and we're going to get Grady and Emmanuel back. I could see that happening. Let's see. Chris is saying he can hit the three, make a mid-range, finish near the rim. His defense is okay for a bench guard. Anyway, I called 20 for him last night. He hit it, but the lack of size on the Raps, ugly. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said, Chris, yesterday. I said, JFL, go get 20. Go get 29. And he did. And I think Matt Devlin knew that I said that because he said, JFL got 20. I was like, that was very fishy to me. If it's not Matt Devlin watching me, it could be somebody on the broadcast that do things to help them up and prep notes and stuff. I feel like sometimes they come in and watch me to get a cheat sheet for bulletin points of maybe things that were in the game. Like maybe some of the stuff I say about, well, this will be the evening of the series or this, we'll look out for this. And they look for they use my insight to a degree to help the script for Matt Devlin in the broadcast. I don't know. It was very weird how he said JFL got 20. And I was like, wait, did he know I made a big deal about that in the morning? I don't know. Maybe he didn't. I mean, that's such a specific thing once again. Very, very specific thing. And why is he talking about it on the broadcast like that? It's weird. Fiercely saying that, Chris, I'm happy JFL got a great game. She used the Liberty, Statue of Liberty, as the icon. That's actually pretty smart. That actually makes sense. I'm happy Liberty got a great game. Yeah, I'm happy too. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just being realistic and telling y'all what to expect. And don't go overboard and thinking this, and this just because of last night. Because seriously, you got to watch Darko's interview. He will tell you everything you need to know about Freeman Liberty's future. Fiercely saying, although the refs have been pretty decent recently, I don't feel like feeding anyone. Laugh out loud. She's been lazy. She's just like, I'm not cooking this morning. That's fine. Yeah, you guys go ahead and get the cereal. Yeah, go ahead and get the cereal this morning. Fiercely's not cooking. But seriously, now that the playoffs and the play-in teams are almost established, they send us to the line more. Yeah, that's not established, though. That's not true. It's all so crazy, and it's going to go right down the wire. None of this is established. I'm telling you right now, the Pacers are playing for their lives right now. Everybody thinks that it's all set up. No, it's not. Nothing is set up. Maybe the Celtics spot is set up, and that is it on both sides. The Western Conference is all in flux, and shuffling up and down is all kinds of crazy right up until Sunday. So, yeah, nothing is settled. Nothing is settled. Now, playing in the Nets, they're settled with them, and it's settled with us. Yeah, these two teams are not playing for the postseason or positioning. So it'll be an interesting game. Now, Miami this weekend will be interesting. 2 in a row with Miami. They have things to play for, but maybe they won't have things to play for. I don't know. I want to maybe try and get one of the 2 games against Miami. But if we win tonight, maybe we don't need to win against Miami either game. Because once again, we're looking at where Memphis is. Memphis has 27 wins. We have 26. Well, we don't want to get 27 with them. We want to keep it below them. So we're 25. They're at 27. We can afford to win tonight. If we're at 26 and they're at 27, they don't win any more games. We don't need to win any more games either. So it really is just keeping at least one more game less win totals than the Memphis Grizzlies by the end of the season. That's the most important thing right now that the Raptors are doing right now. Fiercely saying, screw them, or like Dana would say, 2-finger salute. All right, I don't want to do that to the refs. These refs are awesome. Star Wars nerd is my guy. Carl Lane, I love you. I'll do the Darth Vader voice for you.
Happy birthday, Carl Lane. This is Darth Vader calling to happy birthday. If you do not have a happy birthday, I will choke you.
Yeah, there you go. You got a personal cameo from Darth Vader, Carl Lane, for your birthday. Now, we love them. Come on, Fiercey. That's a good ref crew. The tight end, the Star Wars fanatic, and the bubble ref, Brandon Schwab. Let's see. Mo saying stars of the game, Javon, Kelly. Is that Dennis? No, that's RJ. I was like, is that Dennis? Monique. And Darko, she put herself in as one of the stars. Hey, whatever. That's good, Mo. All right, I'm going to give you a 3-pointer for that. Yeah, Mo was one of the stars on the last night of the games. 41. You got Kelly Olynyk, 41. You got a mixtape. 41, Kelly Olynyk. That's right. Darko for his post-game notes, and Danielle Michaud for many reasons. I'm glad she was so sweet to you and very kind and nice. Honestly, I've been hard on Danielle Michaud in the past, but this year I saw growth in her broadcasting. And I'm really like, I'm happier because honestly, some of it was she was used as a tool by Roger Sportnet to make it negative. She was making things negative around the team. Listen, you're a sunshiny person, Danielle. We love you. You're a beautiful soul in person. I can tell. And I just didn't like you being so pessimistic and down. In some ways, you guys write your copy when you go on the broadcast. I want y'all to paint a nice picture for Raptors fans like me, a positive picture. Optimistic picture. And I don't want to see all the warts. I don't want to hear all the BS. And in some ways, this world has so much BS in it already. We don't want to have all that kind of stuff in our sports where we're trying to be entertained and have fun. So I always want to hear this from the broadcast crew. It doesn't matter who it was. Rob Black in the past, Leo Routens, Kia Nurse, Kate Burness, Danielle Michaud, Brad Fay, any of them. I want y'all to be spinning things in a positive light and making us feel good as Raptors fans in some ways. Like, we don't want our fans to be kind of like weird people that are like negging their team like the broadcast is. In some ways, that's the problem. The behaviors learned from you guys. If we'll lose negatively talking about the Raptors on the Raptors show, what do you think Raptors fans are going to act like at home and the way they talk with their friends? Yeah, I don't like that kind of culture around our team. And in some ways, the media has nagged our team for most of our franchise's existence, especially early, very much putting us down and not being very optimistic, a lot of pessimism. This year, there's been a lot of losing. There's been a lot of opportunities to kick us while we're down, and Danielle Michaud did not do that. So I have to give her a lot of credit for shining a light even in the dark times of the season. In some ways, other broadcasters in the past would be really snarky and assholes like Will Liu or Josh Lewenberg. And the fact that you are being awesome, I really commend you, and I appreciate that. I've seen a growth in your broadcasting this year, and I appreciate you. In fact, I like you on the show way more now than I did at the beginning of the season. So that's an improvement. She's in development just like everybody else. We're all in development in our own lives, in our own facets of what we do. I'm in development on this channel, just like that. It's just like that. Yeah. Chris is saying, since our team is losing, the GFL game in the game has been fun. At Fiercey, but I lied about the GOAT eclipse. I didn't do it for the draft pick. Sacrifice made for a JFL career high. It worked. Man, that's all you wanted from that? Come on. That GOAT gave its life just for JFL to get a 20-point game. Oh my gosh. I'm calling PETA. Where's my phone? Hello? Yes. There is someone on my YouTube live stream that sacrificed a GOAT during the eclipse so that Javon Freeman Liberty could score 20 points in the game. Can you get him for crimes against animals? What? No, I'm not lying. You think that no, this is for real. I have it on the live stream. I can show you proof. He's telling us he did this. I'm not joking. What? They hung up on me. They didn't believe me. Dang it. Nako's saying, yup. Cruises and yachts are terrible for the 98.5%. Yeah. And jets, private jets. Oh my gosh. Jet setting all over the place like Elon does. Horrible. These people are absolutely destroying our environment faster than everybody commonly is. Seriously. The worst people that are destroying the planet are the big corporations dumping emissions and crap into our water, in our air. And then the very, very rich people that are cruising around in big mega yachts and private jets, burning up fuel and putting fossil fuels in the air at a higher rate than any of us normal people driving around in cars and stuff like that. They have the audacity to tell us how to be more green ourselves when these motherfuckers at the top need to be more green at the start because they are the worst contributors. So yeah, let's tell the truth about green. Yeah, the very, very rich are the worst polluters. Very, very rich. That's right. And some of these NBA guys like the jet set all over the place. They're part of it too. But we love our Raptors either way. That's right. Let's see. Dana saying, good morning, everybody. Good morning to you, Canadian Dana. Fiercely saying, hi, Dana. I just mentioned you. Fiercely saying, the last ref hit job on us was the Lakers game. It was a done deal after that. Turned the whole season around. Mission accomplished. This is true in some ways. This is true. I don't know. There's been a little bit of ref manipulation since, but not anything that is too egregious or overly crazy. Like the beginning of the season, there were a lot of ref hit jobs around the in-season tournament. And then that Lakers game absolutely killed our spicy barbecue momentum. And yeah, I think that Fiercey's right with that one. Fiercey say, I saw Asaki was also there yesterday. He's an Afrobeat artist. Yeah, he didn't sing himself. He was just in the front row as a guest. And he has a concert at Scotiabank Arena maybe tonight. I don't know. He's there to do a show the next night. Yeah, he was in the front row. Yeah, he wasn't one of the people that took the mic, though, last night. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Last game of the season, the environment was entertaining. Giveaway, the halftime show was great. I was dancing with my girlfriend, couldn't leave. See, she was there getting it in the real time. This is how we do it. This is how Cool Cat does it. Na-na-na-na-na-na. This is how Cool Cat does it. It's Siakam night. Gonna come down to Scotiabank and see Pascal play all right. Yeah, this is how she does it. I love it. I was so happy when I heard that song come on, and I was like, "Is he there?" And I was like, "Yes." And then I was like checking what day it was. I was like, "It's not Friday." Yeah, that was awesome. You're dancing with your girlfriend. That's awesome, cool cat. I love to hear that. I'm gonna give you a 3-pointer for having a good time last night and really seeing one of the best halftime shows of all year, all season. 28 dunks for Cool Cat this season. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Chris is saying cruises are so boring, and you get Karens and Kevins and other sort of weirdos. You come to realize you were stuck on the boat with them. You visit a city for 3 hours. What the fuck? Went to Key West, had 2 hours. Chris's surliness about cruises is hilarious right now. I'm gonna give you a dunk because that's kind of funny. I've only gone to one cruise, and it was for my honeymoon, and I was pretty much drunk the whole entire time, so I don't really remember it. You got a DeLon Wright 55. Yeah, it was to Alaska too. I took an Alaskan cruise, which was kind of cool. I got to go to Juneau, and I got to go to Alaska. I'd never been to Alaska, so that was kind of cool. It was what it was. All right, listen, I'm going to go look at this guy because I saw this guy. Chris has brought up draft. Yves Missy. Yves Missy looks nice. Now, you're not asking me to scout him, but I want to because I went and looked at, of course, they finished the NCAA tournament on Monday night, and the draft boards came out yesterday. Mock drafts by people like Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Sports. And I was really curious to see where they're putting Zach after his post tournament, and seeing what they're saying for us as far as picking stuff. Now, I don't have it all organized in front of me right now, but I will tell you that some of them were picking us to pick this Missy guy. So what I'm going to do right now is going to do a scout on him, a blind scout on Yves Missy, and talk about him real quick because it does seem like he's been on two drafts that they picked us to take him in the mid-teens pick that we got from the Pacers. So I'm going to go look at this guy. He's from Cameroon, actually, guys. He's Belgian, but from Cameroon also. So we know about Cameroonians. He is 19 years old, so he's quite young. He's a center. He's 7 foot, 235 pounds. He went to high school in Maryland, and he's gone to college at Baylor. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go look at one of his highlights. Let's see what this Yves. I think you say his name is Yves Missy. I don't like his last name for shooting. There's all kinds of dumb things you can say about that last name. Seriously, as far as things. All right. Let me get a short clip. Okay. Freshman focus. Yves Missy at Baylor midseason highlights. All right. We'll just watch that one. Let's see. Which one is he? He's the big guy, obviously. Oh, wow. Look, he just went around that guy. That guy's a little slow, though. But he went up. He took contact. He finished. Let's see. He's got really good length. His wingspan's really good. It looks like he's got good second effort. A little bit of a pogo stick. Oh, wow. That's a little bit of a sweep around to get around the defender. Man, it's so tough to gauge things with how bad college defense is sometimes, though. So tough sometimes to understand whether it'll translate or not. I do really like this guy's frame. I will say that. He's got a really light, long frame, but it looks like it can have some real strength in it. There's you know what? I'm seeing some Ibaka in this guy. Seriously. If he has a 3, he may be like a Surge, guys. Missy. In some ways, he's relentless. I'm seeing him throwing crazy, going boarding and boarding and boarding and boarding. Just doesn't stop boarding. He is missing a lot of bunnies, though, in this one clip. That's part of the reason why he's boarding so much. Ooh, that's a nice alley-oop. Good timing. I don't know. This kid's all right. In some ways, he's similar to Ware. I want to see him shoot a 3. I have not seen him shoot it outside yet. Oh, there's another lob. He caught it from pretty high. Okay. Baylor against Michigan State, another lob. So he's a lob threat. He's a rebounder. I haven't seen him block any shots. He's really good with second effort, but man, if you make it the first time, you don't need a second effort. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, I like Ware better than Missy. From what I'm seeing right here, in some ways, he's not as clean. But they're similar type players. I don't know. If he has a 3, he could be a little bit like Ibaka, is what I'll say right now. Yves Missy, Belgian player. Looking him up, doing a quick scout on him. He's been projected on Raptors picks and some of the mock drafts that came out after the tournament. All right. Thanks for bringing him up. And I did want to go look at him, so I'm glad you brought him up. All right, yeah, there's the cosmic card answers. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Tom is saying that Chris, hang on, it jumped. Chris, campaigning for JFL is something I can totally get behind. Let's go grow, Raptors. Good morning. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry I'm raining on y'all's parade. I'm sorry. I just got to. I got to be realistic. Got to be realistic. We can't be all wild and dazzled with every single player that comes through the Raptors. We got to be realistic and think about sustainability. Think about the future. Think about the growth. Think about the final product of where they get to and what will it take, and is it willing to invest in it? You know, we've gotten burned by people like Malachi Flynn in recent years. And in some ways, I'm just saying that. Like, look, do we want to wait around for JFL to learn how to play point guard? No. We want to get somebody who knows how to play point guard right now, like Marquise Noel. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, Smooth saying, oh, yeah, that's right. Honestly, I don't remember Terry looking like that. Oh, yeah, It's because he has so much hair. That's what messed you up, Smooth, is because Terry Cummings shaved his head for most of his career with the Spurs. And when he was with the Bucks, he had hair. And this is probably very early when he first came to the Spurs, his first year. And it was the transition from hair with Terry on Bucks to hairless, shaved head Terry. And the hair threw y'all off and made you think Sean Elliott. That's what it is right there. That's what it is. Cool Cat saying at the end of the game, Scotty, Jakob, Boucher, and Coach Darko went over to Pascal. Man, Scotty misses Pascal. Their big bro, younger bro relationship and mentorship runs deep. Yeah, they're going to be locked in for life. In fact, let's do the Instagram stories because that's there, honestly. First, we got Emmanuel quickly and Grady Dick, both sitting out last night and both wearing the same colors, the very off-white cream outfits, all off-white together. And they didn't coordinate this, apparently. Is it coincidence? I don't know. Did y'all talk about this? Did you plan this? There was a lot of light colors in the guys who were not playing last night. Sometimes they wear different colors and sometimes they color coordinate, but there was a very much an off-white, kind of cream white look to the guys who were sitting. And that was Grady and Emmanuel. I love that that's kind of in a weird way to bond. It's like, wait, are we twinning today? You could show up to work and when your coworkers is wearing something similar, yeah, I think we are twinning today. High five. Yeah. All right. There you go. Grady and Emmanuel, twins like Arnold and Danny DeVito. Yeah, there it is on Grady's too. He's posting it too. Coincidence? I don't know if that's a coincidence. Did y'all talk to each other before the game? Maybe you're acting like it is. There's Siakam on his Instagram stories with a big hug on Scotty. Reposting Scotty's post. Scotty said, love you always, brother. P Skills 43. And then Pascal wrote back, we locked in for life, my dog. And there you go. It's just for real. It's for true. You know, Scotty ain't bullshitting when he says Pascal was my favorite player in the league. He still is. And he got to see his favorite player up close playing against him. And then he tried to call a travel on him in the middle of the game. That was hilarious. Yeah, they're best friends. But no, he still traveled, Diedrich. He traveled. You didn't see Pascal traveling? You didn't see Scotty yell that? That was so hilarious. Another thing that was funny about Pascal last night was whenever Halliburton made a dunk, you could hear Pascal say, what the fuck, on the broadcast. And it's very clear. Like, go back and watch it, Cool Cat. If you were at the game, so you need to go watch these highlights from the game last night. When Halliburton did that one dunk when he went down the lane and he stretched it out and made it up over the rim, it was really nice dunk. You can clearly hear Siakam on the microphone underneath the basket saying, what the fuck? And that wasn't the only time. There was a dunk later on where Halliburton did it again, and you could hear Siakam saying very clearly, what the fuck? And it made it on the national broadcast on Rogers all the time. I heard him say what the fuck on the broadcast 3 times last night, Siakam. They didn't edit it out, and it was just so pronounced when they did the dunk. And you know how Siakam's so vocal and loud, whether it's like he's getting fouled and one, or like, yelling, stuff like that. Well, you could hear him yelling, what the fuck, when Halliburton was dunking last night. Go back and listen and watch it. You will hear him straight up in the NBA highlights. Siakam saying, what the fuck? It's so funny. When that happened, that made me laugh so much. Yeah, there's Scotty's picture of him hugging Siakam. I thought it was really special that Darko was over there too, being there with them. Of course, we saw Chris embrace Pascal first after the game. Jakob's going to come over there. They're best friends. It really, really, really awesome to see everybody sharing the love with him. RJ also showing respect to Pascal after the game. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see Darko come over there, because it's not often that Darko gets mixed up in the player talk. It's kind of like I'll go talk to the coach, shake their hand, turn around, and walk out. But no, he hung around and he made sure to go and hug Pascal himself, Darko Rajakovic. And that's class act. That's class act kind of stuff. Let's see. Javon's got his highlights on his Instagram story. Mr. New York City is promoting something called the Noops. It'll be April 13th at Forum Hall. Show starts at 7. And I think Marquise has had some good things happen to him in the last couple of days because he ain't complaining no more, and God is blessing him. It looks like he's in some nice place with some very nice car. So, Marquise, as long as you're smiling, you see a bright future. I see a bright future for you, my guy. In fact, I got to wear shades because honestly, bro, you're Timbuk 3. Your future's so bright that you made the Raptors streak out to wear shades, Marquise Noel. That's right. That's right. So there's your Instagram stories real quick. Yeah, go listen to Pascal say, what the fuck? On the highlight of Halliburton's dunk. It's hilarious. Oh, my God. That made me laugh so much. It's so subversive in some ways. It's really funny. Really, really funny. Isaac saying Terry had hair once upon a time, like some of us. Yeah. Fiercely saying, it was so nice to see Pascal yesterday. Although he was all business, I miss his screams when he drives to the rim. Intense as usual. We love you, Spicy P. Yeah, in some ways, I hope that they gave him a good ovation on the starting lineup. I didn't hear it very well. In some ways, they were blocking things. Like they didn't let us see the Grady thank you to the crowd on the stream I was watching, which annoyed me. But they did show it on the Rogers broadcast later, which was good. Grady's short and sweet with it. Honestly, he could have said more. And he wasn't really projecting enough in the microphone. Grady, you need to be more media savvy. If you're going to get out in front of the crowd, you need to put that mic in the front of your mouth so we can hear you. You're a little quiet on your addressing the crowd, but perfect job. Real short and sweet. And it's kind of cool that you did it, that you were the guy who did it at the end of the game, the rookie. It's kind of cool. Nako's saying JFL should at least get to go to training camp next year. Yeah, I agree with this. I mean, if he's already part of the system, we've been working with him already. Well, let's see how he does this summer in developing and getting his game better and invite him back for next year. And then he can try and make the team. But, I mean, no guarantees, honestly. And to me, he's got to do something very monumental for me to be totally okay with it. You know, I'm not Bobby Masai. I don't know how they live on the moon. And in some ways, if they value him because he does something for them and then be able to breathe on the moon a little bit better, well, I'll trust in them. But for me, my learned experience in the NBA and players, it's just not a fit. It's not a puzzle piece that fits. It's not the kind of player that you want to take up a roster spot because he's not really kind of the right kind of player for the NBA for his body type. It's a weird situation. I've seen players like this many times before that they're just like they're out of position for their size and they just can't play the position that their size is right for it. There's like whether it's like a guy who's supposed to be there'll be it used to be there were forwards that kind of didn't play their position exactly right. But guard is usually the one. Point guard is the one, is the tough one. Chris is saying at Tom, thanks, man. It's really been really part of being excited for the team losing 17 out of 20 or whatever. Called being a fan, and JFL is under contract. But in reality, IQ is the guard I always wanted. Yeah. And he's the promise. He's the sure thing. He's the as these guys keep talking about on the broadcast, we can imagine our core next year back healthy. It's very attractive and very promising. And pundits all summer are going to say things like the Raptors aren't good because they only have Scotty. They're lying. They are lying, and IQ is a big reason why. Fiercely saying 1 p.m. on Sunday is church time. It's okay. I'll arrange my schedule accordingly, as I believe it'll be the last game of the season. It will be the last game of the season, and we'll be calling off the season after that. I'll do the reaction on Monday next week, and then Tuesday trivia right back in the off-season schedule. And I'm already kind of figuring out what my first week of stuff I'm going to do after the season's over as far as content subjects for the Tuesday going on for the week later. Because now I got to think about Sunday's special report, Thursday think tanks, wild card Wednesday is easy, though. That one's easy. I'm just going to open a pack of cards. Tuesday trivia takes some work. Freak out is not as hard to do. Just find something that's pissing me off. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that. It'll be back on off-season schedule. And honestly, I'm going to try and hone right away the stream down to an hour or 90 minutes. And I want to ask y'all to help me. In some ways, we may be doing a cutoff chat at 10 a.m. Like only a half hour of filling it up. And that's it. Those are all the comments for the whole day when we get to off-season. I think that might be the best way to shave my time down other than me stop rambling like I am right now. All right, let's see. La 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 la. Cool Cat is saying during the game, Pascal was complaining to Boucher about the refs after Pascal blocked Gary Trent's shot. He said, "Sorry, man," to Gary. Pascal still does not like Kelly, who almost injured Ty. He told Kelly off. Yeah, we saw this part at home. It was intense. In some ways, it was a little bit of a Bobby Portis moment. And Siakam was the instigator in some ways. I know Kelly was playing dirty and Kelly was doing Kelly things, and Siakam did not approve. And he bumped him with his shoulder. And then when Kelly kind of squared up with him, he said something to his face. Like, I'll bet you he said something like, "This is still my home. This is still my house." It's like, this is what Siakam said on his Twitter is get the win at home, brother. Pascal over after tonight's win in Toronto, he said he got the win at home, brother. So he's saying he just won a home game last night, Siakam. So in some ways, he feels like our building is still his building, and he's right to a degree. But yeah, I wonder what that conversation was like. I can tell there's no love lost there, and it is what it is. Kelly's gotten into little skirmishes the last couple of games, Maroy and now Pascal Siakam. In some ways, look, my allegiance is going to be to my current team, but I love Siakam, and I love to see the fight, and I love to see him stand up for his teammates. But also, hey, listen, that's Kelly. Don't mess with my guy. He's put on a mixtape last night, and part of the mixtape last night was the step back shot, and also the fouls, and also the skirmish with Pascal. And yeah, Pascal didn't back down. In some ways, there were a lot of parallels between what happened with Olynyk with him and Bobby Portis that one time. So I like seeing that fire from Siakam. And yeah, we're friendly with the Pacers in all kinds of ways, whether it's Obi Toppin and the Knicks guys on our team, whether it's Bruce Brown and Wara with the Pacers, whether it's Siakam with our guys too. There's a lot of connections, a lot of friendships, but not one there with Olynyk and Siakam. That's for sure. That is for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. Chris is saying also Kelly O, his game is near comical in the post. Somehow he shakes his defender with the slowest moves. Laugh out loud. He must be strong as hell. Yeah, no, listen, that's the ugly part I'm talking about, Chris. And I know as a big man who played yourself, you can understand like those kind of moves that Kelly's doing. In some ways, like in your own experience playing basketball, you've played guys like Kelly that make crazy, like weird looper shots. But it's so weird to see him at that level, being that kind of player. Like it's so, in some ways, trashy but it is so effective also. It's really crazy and weird. It's not that he's super fast. He's just methodical and his timing is really good. And it's years of experience and understanding how he can get free and make shots, even if he's not the fastest or he can't even jump kind of stuff. It's crazy. He flips shots up and he really is a grounded player. It's not like this guy's getting up there to throw it down on people's heads. He's more likely to go up and underneath them and then kind of like try and flip it off the backboard. And that's fun. I know that, in some ways, you probably maybe be played a little bit like Kelly at times on the court. I mean, I know I have. I'm not trying to dish you. I'm just saying that, like, if you're not the most athletically gifted person, you may look like Kelly the way you score and when you play basketball, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Nako's saying, I think RJ is a hair above IQ in terms of offense. Well, we don't really need to gauge them because they're apples to oranges. But in some ways, we want both of them to develop further and further. Now, the thing is, I think IQ's ceiling's higher than RJ's. RJ may be closer to his ceiling than IQ is right now. But I'm not saying that as a diss to RJ. I'm just saying that he's much more complete player in some ways. But IQ is complete and he can play like he is. But the potential for him to get even better is crazy high. In some ways, I don't know how much better RJ can get as far as increasing his scoring average or taking on more of a load. He's already doing as much as possible, it seems like, in what he's capable of. So it's tough to say in this as far as things. And I don't really know how to gauge this. It's really apples to oranges, IQ versus RJ in terms of offense. Fiercely saying, yes, Chris, Kelly is extremely strong and doesn't get bullied around. I like that. And he's got an attitude. He's really funny. He's funny. And honestly, the other thing I want to say about Kelly is, look, a lot of players who get shook if a strong guy like Eugene Omoruyi is getting in his face, or maybe a little intimidated. Even Siakam's an all-star. Siakam's all-NBA. He has a lot of esteem, especially in our building. And Kelly doesn't let it affect him. In some ways, it's like the negative energy of like the confrontation does not carry on. It's not like Kelly amps it up and makes it worse. He's too smart as a vet to say, oh, Siakam got in my face, I got to get him back. No, he let it go. And in some ways, him letting it go with Siakam and letting it go with Omoruyi The other game just shows a really smarts about things. He knows he's going to play physical. He knows he's going to piss people off. He knows he's going to play a little dirty, but he's not going to play in a way where he's going to try and hurt his team to a degree where he's going to get more technicals or some crazy shit happening. Now, RJ got a technical last night on purpose because he wanted to test the refs to see if they would actually call something. He yelled at them. And he said, this is the funny thing. RJ did it on purpose. He's like, yeah, give me a tech. Now you'll listen to me and what I want to say. And he went off and he started saying, this is why I got my tech and I'm mad at you. And you need to do this differently to the refs. Now, I love that. That's a very smart way to take a tech. If you're going to take a tech, make the best of it and say, yeah, now you're going to listen to me. I got your attention now. Thank you. Finally. That's why. Oh, you're going to call a tech on me? Yeah, all right. Now I got your ear. Yeah, that was really smart by RJ on that too. Sue's here. Good to see you play it again, Sue. Sue has a music reaction channel that's absolutely fantastic, y'all. We love Sue. And she's always listening to some oldies, new stuff, all kinds of different genres of music. Thank you for being here, Sue. Definitely give Play It Again, Sue, a follow. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Last home game of the season is done. So many great things to come next year. Yeah, it's kind of sad that the home season's over and they still have 3 games to go. In some ways, I like it better when they finish the season here. I think that this was a very designed schedule. In some ways, I think they backfired. This whole end of the season Miami thing backfired on them. In some ways, they may have looked at it this way. It's like if the Raptors are out, well, they're just out and they get to have vacation in South Beach as soon as they're done. Or if they're in the playoffs and they're trying to do something, a nefarious scheduling of 2 games over a weekend in Miami is just kind of questionable. In some ways, it's like, what are you doing? It's like the weather's nicer and you want them to play both the games in Miami in a row with days apart. Yeah, we know about Miami. We know about the pitfalls of that particular market for NBA players. And I just found it was very fishy. At the very beginning of the season, I called this out. I said the 2 games at home at Miami at the end of the season are very fishy to me. Well, it doesn't matter. In some ways, it works out real well now. You know, if anything, Scotty's right near his house. He can say, oh, I'm going to go see my mom after the game on Sunday because he's right near where his family is down there. So I backfired. If we weren't in the postseason, if we were in the postseason, I'd be more worried about these games against Miami. But we're not in the postseason, so I'm not at this point. This is just a good jumping off point for vacation at this point. Let's see. Fiercely saying, hi, Sue. Yes, next season will be special. That's right. And I'm going to be happy to share it with you guys. A new season, a new locale, a new place, a new person, Lex. Yeah, the Raptor Freak is going to be evolving this summer, guys. And be ready there. You can see it day to day how it's going to go down. Chris is saying, oh, now you're talking points from Grange on JFL. I see how it is. Laugh out loud. Lex, the guy was the best G League scorer. They gave him a contract for a reason. He's nice like Jesus, bro. My rap savior. No, I'm not commenting comments from Grange. No. Don't get it twisted. I'll do that from time to time, but this isn't Grange. This is Darko that I'm doing these comments from. You really do need to go watch the press conference from last night, Chris. It will give you a more rounded view of the reality of JFL on our team. Seriously. And just listen to Darko. Listen to JFL himself. And that's all you need to do. Just listen to JFL. Listen to his voice. Listen to what he's saying. And realize some things. And that'll be enough for you to understand, okay? That'll be enough for you to understand. Darko will spell it out to you. He'll spell it out to you exactly. If you did not watch the post-game interview last night, this is where I'm getting my attitude on this exactly from. It's all clear as day in the 2 interviews from last night after the game between Freeman Liberty and Roy Yakovich. It's nothing to do. And he said this too. He's like one of the best scorers in the G League. He's very proud of that accomplishment for him, Darko said. And that's part of the reason why they called him up is because they wanted to reward him for a great year with the G League. So let's see. Tommy's got retracted and Sue's showing love to Fiercey. I love it. Wayne's saying, I agree, Lex, on Freeman Liberty. Who else are you not willing to wait on to be attractive for our team? Who's worth waiting on? Well, I mean, some of it is contracts already in place. In some ways, it's in our favor to wait on Jalen McDaniels because he's already under contract. And I know this is probably one of the people you're alluding to right now. I mean, it is what it is. In some ways, you got to think about promise. JFL has not got the NBA body that Jalen McDaniels has. Jalen McDaniels has a body that fits in the NBA very well. It's just that he can't click it right in certain ways. They designated 2-year period for Jalen to get his shit together and make something happen. If nothing happens this summer and he doesn't look good, they could waive him in training camp if McDaniels had not done the right work this summer to get better and develop and make some leaps. So just because Jalen is under contract next year doesn't mean they might not cut him, although they may do cost-cutting things and have a block with him already in mind, and they think he's a cheap piece for that. And he may be just like Malachi last year. I'll be saying, yeah, waive Malachi in training camp. I was saying that last year. Waive him and sign Jeff Doughton. And no, they didn't do that because Malachi was already under contract. And in some ways, they had him already set in the whole foundation of the salary cap. So I really feel like that's what it is. A lot of these decisions get decided by contract terms and whether you're guaranteed or non-guaranteed. And that will determine some of this right here. In some ways, it's not totally if they're attractive, it's whether they're under contract. Cool Cat saying another cute moment. The section behind Pascal kept cheering and calling him. He turned around, started waving, blew kisses. They screaming, laugh out loud. Man, I miss this guy on our team. Scotty too. Well, Scotty's still on our team. Nah, Siakam's awesome. And he'll forever always be a favorite and in our hearts. Like I said, he's number 2 on the GOAT list, in my opinion. He would have passed Lowry if he had still been here and gotten a couple more accomplishments. I would have said he's absolutely the greatest Raptor of all time. But as of right now, he's number 2 on the list after Lowry. And man, but that's really special that he's like the second greatest Raptor of all time to me on my personal rankings. So that means a lot right there. And that's totally Siakam. This is just like what he did at the coach's open house, Cool Cat. You know, the rules when I went to the first coach's open house, not the one we just went to recently as a group, the one with Nick Nurse. Siakam was the only one who broke Nick Nurse's rule through that whole practice. They were not allowed to engage with us and the coaches sitting in the crowd. They were supposed to ignore us and just do the practice and just act like we're not even there. Well, Siakam couldn't do that. During that whole open practice, he kept turning into the crowd and waving to the coaches. And everybody who went to the coaches' open house this last time can tell you that would be weird considering what they saw that time. That, yeah, Siakam kept wanting to look and connect with the coaches at the coaches' open house, just like he did with those fans behind the bench. That's a great story. Thank you, Cool Cat, for sharing that story. That makes my heart warm up so much. That little story you just told me about Siakam. I'm going to give you a 3-pointer. You got a Sean Marion 31 now. Yeah, you're jumping up today, Cool Cat. I like it. Chris is saying at Tom Duke, he's a nice person, peaceable-minded, and I'm joking. As for waiting on him, he played well, and Darko said he ran it and went well in the first. They finally let him run it, and he went off. But this is the thing. There's no option with JFL. It's either him, and that's it. In some ways, that's a Gary type of player. In some ways, we want an assist guy. We want a guy who's going to get everybody involved and cultivate a bunch of plants in the garden growing together. If he's only watering himself and he only gets 1 assist at the end of the game, that's no good. That's not good, sustainable offense to battle a very well-faceted offensive team like the Pacers. You know, they got Siakam as a look. They got Miles Turner as a look. They got Obi Toppin as a look. They got Tyrese Halliburton as a look. And well, if JFL's the hub, he's the point guard, and he gets 1 assist for the whole entire game, and he's just calling his number the whole night, and his number is not that effective or anything. It's not going to get anywhere. I'm just telling you guys. Seriously, he has to score to be effective because he's not going to do anything else for us by getting other people involved. That's the biggest flaw in his game right there. Right there. Randolph saying, beloved Raptor freaks, most informative game. Blessings on this game day. It is with great joy of being able to partake in the amazing day with amazing people like you. Love to all. Love you too, Randolph. And I appreciate you. Yeah, we stopped the score prediction game because we voted on it. We decided we did not like playing it anymore. And it was counterintuitive to what we were trying to do as fans. So 16 dunks for Randolph Phillips. You're getting a dunk, my friend. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, my girlfriend had a fun time at the game, so I felt good. And soon our losing season will end in a few days. We'll be looking forward to the draft and new season. No, there's so much to look forward to, Cool Cat. This summer, we have the Olympics. We have this draft, and there's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff around the draft. In some ways, the playoffs will be very interesting. Matt and Alvin talking about the playoff picture is very fun, and they're excited about the playoffs and the possible matchups. In some ways, I am too. I kind of want to see how this script gets written after the season is over and the postseason starts. In some ways, I want to see the demise of the Boston Celtics and how that will get written. Yeah, I want to see what happens in this play-in. I want to see the demise of Lakers and LeBron in the postseason somehow, some way. I want to see the demise of the Warriors and Steph Curry and Draymond Green in the postseason somehow, some way. Yeah, I'm be looking for certain teams to get their exits and celebrating when they happen. Philadelphia 76ers. That's right. That's right. So there's some fun things to look forward to. Plus, like I said, and this may be a little egotistical, the things that are going to change with me will be very interesting on this channel this summer. So there's a lot of things that are going to be interesting. I mean, I'm going to be doing my show from Estonia for like 10 days. Y'all are going to be seeing me at 4:30 in the p.m. at 9:30 a.m. here. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'll go on my regular time while I'm there, and it'll be very short. And like I said, they're not going to be interactive live streams. I'm just going to do a check-in little like piece of content, kind of just checking in, maybe talking about current top subjects. But I really don't want to take too much time away from my vacation. Spending time on here with you guys for like 2 or 3 hours, like I normally do. So there will be some interesting content this summer. And plus, we're going to do the Thursday Think Tank call-in shows. We got the Wild Card Wednesdays. We got all the great fun stuff we did last summer already. Share the Love Club, Sunday Report, Tuesday Trivia. But there's new stuff with the new Thursday Think Tank, with the call-in show. And also the Wild Card Wednesday is going to be a lot of fun. So this channel is changing, and it's going to be fun to see how it changes this summer, because this room is going to go away. In fact, when this season's over, this room's going to slowly is going to be disappearing. I took the clipboard off of the championship team. You notice that? I see Nick Nurse behind me because it's over. We're not playing them anymore. I don't have any reason to cover them up from the plans that we talk about on here. So let's celebrate the 5-year anniversary of our championship team, the 2019 Toronto Raptors NBA champions. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Bam, 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 bam. Tom saying, Chris, you got to know I'm only cheering for JFL because of you. Last night was amazing, but Chris, you are always on fire. JFL hasn't been. Oh, wow. Tom, that was like a turn of events. I'm trying to grow. Listen, I don't dislike JFL. It's just that in some ways, look, I don't mind getting a hooper. In fact, I wanted a hooper on my wish list for the last couple of years, like a Lou Williams. In some ways, that's the kind of hooper I want, a more veteran one that's established in the league already. Not necessarily a guy who's on the outside looking to come in. And that's a little bit what JFL is. In some ways, the hooper I want is somebody who's been playing the league already, like a Terry Rozier, a guy like that. In some ways, we want a bona fide NBA player that has fit in and already established. That's the kind of hooper I want. In some ways, I don't want to get a guy from 905, whether it's Kobe Simmons or Javon Freeman Liberty. Yeah. Chris is saying Kelly O had the highest minus 17 on the team last night. First star. What are we talking about here? Hoping for Noel to return. The guy is 5'8". Raps pick JFL over him. Trust him, Masai. All right, I'm going to go ahead and break down what you said here. All right, you're saying that you're putting down Kelly for me picking him as the first star because he was a minus 17. Okay, yeah, he was the worst plus minus, but honestly, he was doing so much good out there. He was very efficient, and that's not the best stat to be indicative of things. Honestly, the whole team was kind of letting scoring happen and stuff. Are you going to say that Kelly Olynyk was the worst defender out there last night? No. So come on, man. That stat is usable at times, and it is telling. Yeah, we got outscored by 17 while Kelly was out there. But I'm really giving him the star because of the mixtape, Chris. He made people break their ankles, and he is slow and goofy. How the hell did he fake out people like he did? He had a couple of moves where he like, oh, and like he really faked some people out like he was a little guard last night, and that was super impressive. That step back shot alone made people go crazy, especially the Raptors bench. So as I said, it's the mixtape of him, not necessarily the plus minus that got him that. Plus, he shot 6 for 7. He was very efficient and very good. And I'm not going to look at that plus minus in some ways because in some ways it doesn't matter in this game. The game was a loss, and he just played really well. And you're going to diss Noel because of his height? Don't do that, man. Seriously. Did you watch 905 this year that much? I know you did. I saw you in there sometimes. You've got to understand that this is night and day. Javon Freeman Liberty, Marquise Noel. It's night and day. That guy's a real point guard. He's a bona fide point guard, the little guy. And the other guy is a shooting guard in a point guard's body that never learned how to play point guard correctly. And he's useless in the NBA because he can't play point guard, and his height is that position. He can't play shooting guard. Well, he's screwed. It's like, dude, if you want to map out your future, Javon Freeman Liberty, play the position that your body is built for. And that's the problem right there, Chris. In some ways, it shows a lack of intelligence that he didn't kind of think about his future and developing his skills the correct way for what he could see going to what projecting to what he could be. In some ways, that's a fail. That's poor planning. That's poor life management, is what I'm putting it down as right there. Yeah. So Marquise managed his life correctly. And that's why a 5'7" guy who's way fundamentally better and a true point guard, it has a better spot on my team, at least, because he will distribute and he will find people. In fact, he was so good at getting people going on the 905 this season, the opposite of JFL. In some ways, JFL is a black hole, just like Gary Trent. These guys don't pass. They're scorers. All they do is hoop, 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 hoop. And they're not going to cultivate other people's shots. That's the problem. They don't even drive and kick that well, which is the problem. They very much, they're going to finish the shot themselves. It's not like they draw attention, get in the lane, and kick it out to somebody. No, that's not very much happening with Freeman, Liberty, or even Trent. So when I do see Trent drive to the lane and kick it out to somebody like Grady, I smile because that's awesome. I want to see more of that. There's a lot more to this than just height. Let's just put it that way. Raps picked JFL over him? No, they didn't. Marquise had a hamstring injury, and that derailed things. If he had not gotten pulled his hamstring right in the middle of the season, he probably would have been called up and gotten a lot of the time in assignments in the last 2 months. But the timing of the injury was awful, and he was only able to come back and play the last 2 games of the 905 season. And he needed to do that just to ramp up. And he was on a minutes restriction. So there was no opportunity for him to come and get a 10-day like Kobe Simmons or any of those other guys. He would have. Trust me. If Marquise had been healthy in the second half of the season, he would have been called up and he would have been in one of those spots like those other guys that did. So Tom Duke's saying, sorry, I'm so sensitive too. That's all right, Tommy. Be you. You be you, guy. Cool Cat's saying, Scotty was very nice to the fans upon leaving. He was waving, touching hands, signing autographs. Such a nice young man. He needs a poker face soon enough. What do you mean? He needs to be like more tough? I don't know. Scotty will sign the autographs if you're a kid. If you're an old head like me, he'd be like, don't talk to me. Yeah, he's very friendly to the kids. Like he said in public, don't come up to him if you're an adult. He doesn't want to talk to you. But if you're a child and you want to meet him and see your hero, he's all about talking to you in public. That's officially what he said to us on Twitch. Yeah. But yeah, Scotty's awesome. And I did see him signing autographs for people the last couple games at our home arena. Yeah. Fiercely saying, where's GTA? Hope he shows up tonight. We just need him to shoot threes and make them. The consistency issue once again. One night, this is this, and one night, this is this. And in some ways, 0 for 7 from 3 is not good enough. I'm telling you right now. Evelyn's saying, good morning, my beloved Raptor Freak family. Well, I'm still a solid Raptors fan and looking forward to the next amazing season. Let's go Raptors. We the North. Unwavering support for her team and her beautiful, pristine, white, classic, retro franchise, expansion franchise, Toronto Raptors, Tracy McGrady, white dinosaur jersey. That's right. That's right. Evelyn's a real one from the beginning and has not changed. This losing season has not told her and turned her off from this team. No. She didn't give up on this team because now she has more granny duties of babysitting and things like that going on in her life. No. Evelyn stayed true right through this end of the season, and she continues to stay true. She's getting a three-pointer. She has got 8 dunks now. Good job, Evelyn. Yeah, so she's a solid Raptors fan. Always will be. That's right. JP's here. Country Kong's here. How you doing, JP? On the Yahoo Fantasy, you're are you even playing still, my guy? I see that we're playing each other right now. And it's 164 to 113. We're in the consolation bracket. Dick Picks versus the Raptor Freak 416 All-Stars. All right, JP, let's bring it. The last week of the season and a little bit of bragging rights, I guess. I think you beat me earlier this season, so maybe I need to get payback against you. He's saying, Lex, it was nice to see Pascal again. I have a new appreciation for him after watching Oshai try to guard him. I tried to watch the whole game, but Grady wasn't playing. RJ's always fun to watch, though. He couldn't watch the whole game because Grady wasn't out there. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, listen, Siakam is so hard to play. So hard to play. And, Oshai's giving him some inches on that. Babaji had to guard both Siakam and Halliburton at different times during the game last night. Mixed results on both of them. They both got him. And that may be why Darko's talking about, like, specific things that Oshai needs to do better on defense to improve for next year and work on this summer. You know what? It was so good to see Siakam again last night. And like he said, his home is here too. In some ways, his home is more here than Indiana, honestly. I mean, Indiana's probably been a culture shock for him, honestly. In some ways, he doesn't mind because he stays home anyway. He doesn't need a nightlife. But also at the same time, it's not Toronto. Let's just put it that way. Indianapolis is not Toronto. Cool. Cowboys here. Granny Swag in the house. We the North. There you go. There's our Canadian guys. Olenek and Barrett. I love it, Team Canada. Hello, Bradley. Hello, Bradley. Chris is saying, I have a feeling Gary and Bruce won't be back, so we need to draft a guard with that 6th pick. The Yukon player, Castle, is it? And we're left with IQ, JFL, and a draft pick, so better cheer for them. JFL's not under contract next year, is he? If he is, it may be not guaranteed. Either way, you guys brought up Castle the other day. I didn't scout him, but I already did a scout today. I'll have to go look at Castle. I did see that he's in the top 10 on a lot of the mock drafts. So the Connecticut guard is up there, like you guys were saying. Blackhawk was talking about him, I think, the other day. Yeah, I'll have to scout Castle. I'll have to scout him in the next few days or so. Randolph saying, Lex, JFL did a lot of point guard work in the game. His teammates missed a lot of shots. This was the same problem he had as well, and it makes you look bad when shots miss. Well, this is my argument on this, Randolph, and this is the way John Stockton and Magic would say this. It's your job to make sure that you give it to them so that they have a higher probability of success. Listen, a true point guard hands it to them on the silver platter. I brought this up earlier in the season, the silver platter theory. The point guard needs to understand the way that the person they're passing it to will have the higher probability of making the shot. In fact, this is very much spelled out by Darko in the post-game conference once again, that this is part of the problem with JFL, is that you've got to make it happen with the person and the connection so that you set them up to succeed. The problem is that JFL is not passing it to them in a way that they can be successful. And that's a problem. We can say, oh, they just missed shots. Sure. But there's all kinds of ways that Magic and John Stockton knew how to set their teammates up so that their assists would grow like crazy. And that's the point guard's mentality. That's the mentality of understanding that, it's not just passing the ball to them and hoping they make it. It's about delivering the ball in a very rhythm way. Maybe it's the way you bounce it. Maybe it's the way you spin the ball. Maybe it's where you throw it to them on the position of their body, because some people like to catch it high. Some big people catch it like middle is best. Bounce pass, overhand pass, no look pass. Can you throw a quick pass to them? You got to understand the tailor-make the pass to make it the way it works. And if you don't have that kind of acumen to understand this is the way I need to serve it up for this person, then you're not a point guard. And yeah, we can blame the guys for not making shots, but still, he only got 1 assist last night as a starting point guard of the Raptors last night. That's a fail. That is a fail right there. And sure, we can blame people missing shots, but you know what? You help them make the shots more often if you pass it to them a certain way. And Marquise Noel understands this. In fact, he could set up Mohamedou Gay all kinds of different ways from what he was doing this season because he understands the best way to make him successful to convert. And that's the job of the point guard right there. You got to understand your personnel and you want to get them involved. That's the other thing. It's like part of the job of the point guard is to get your teammates involved and get them scoring and get them firing on their cylinders. Then your team can be really good. Now, if your point guard is not getting people involved, because in some ways he's very oriented for himself, that's not a point guard. And that is fundamentally the problem here with Freeman Liberty. That is fundamentally the problem here right now. MSJ said, I did watch the post game. Darko said JFL ran the offense well in the first. So what are you talking about? He was then put in the corner to spread the court for RJ in his pick and roll. Pay attention. I am paying attention. I pay attention really intensely. Like seriously pay attention. I practice having attention. Some people may be like talking to people on the phone or playing little games or watching. I take every distraction out of the way. In fact, that's part of the reason why I don't talk in the Facebook chat during the game, because sometimes Trevor and Monique and other people will be talking and I'm getting distracted during the game. So I don't look at the chat while the game is in action. I only chat in there during the breaks. And no, I did watch the game. Look, Darko said he was great in the beginning, but that was because he ran it for himself and he made his own shots. Listen to me, Chris. I'm talking about point guard gets everybody involved. And in some ways, guys on our team overall were not as involved as the Pacers were involved overall. Like, okay, RJ, Kelly, Jordan a little bit here, JFL here. But a lot of the guys were not getting integrated and involved by the point guard. And that's the problem. That's the problem right there. I can look at the assist numbers and where they came from. And why did we only have 21 assists as a team? Our benchmark is 25 for the game. So that's a fail. We're -4 on what we should be getting every single game. We had the player with the most assists was Bruce Brown. And he came out there and played 28 minutes. And he was the one, he does these little dump offs. That's why he gets them. This is the thing. JFL would be smart if he did this. If he started driving to the basket and then dumping it off to the big man next to the basket for them to shoot the shot instead of him getting blocked by the defense, that would get him assists. That would be an easy way to start doing this. Like, draw the attention, get in there, draw 2 guys, and just flip past it to the next guy. But no, he's trying to take it up against double teams. And that's part of the problem. Bruce got 5 assists. Then the next guys with the assists were Kelly, Gary, and RJ with 4 each. And I'm just saying, there's a problem here with the fundamental idea of what a point guard is, their role, and their job. I had the same problem with Malachi. Malachi never ever made other guys good in the second unit around him. That's the point guard's job. You bring up the bench unit and you make them better next to you. You get the shots for people that are playing next to you and get them open and help them play better. That's the point guard's historical job in the NBA. The backup point guard is so important for this. So there's no drop off between the starters and the bench. Now, Malachi did not do this the whole time he was here, and that's why I hate him, is because he hurt our bench quality the whole time he was on our team, because he was the backup point guard and he couldn't even fucking get other people involved in the right way. So, yeah, I'm very sensitive to this, partly because of Flynn. And when I start seeing the next Flynn clone coming through the pipeline, I'm rejecting it. And that's what this is right here. That's what this is. That's right. Cowboys saying grainy swag. Trevor's saying NBA Chev said that the Indiana should say thanks to the Raptors for the game. I won't disagree with Chev. We helped them. Rick Carlisle got really pissed in the first half about how we were beating their ass. He read the riot act to them. Holy crap, we saw mad Jim Carrey in the first half. And he called the timeout and he brought them all in. And he just was like, y'all, do you understand that y'all are playing for the playoffs right now in position? And this team is not making the playoffs and y'all look like dog shit to them right now. Oh, he went off on them. And you know what? He's a good coach. He got results out of them. They kind of woke up after he read them the riot act partly through the first half. So, yeah, good coaching by Coach Carlisle to get the Pacers back on track after really not starting the game correctly or playing with the same energy to match us. Yeah, we were beating their ass. At the beginning of the game, Coach Carlisle didn't like it. He read them the riot act. He got results. Name is saying, usually when you hate a character in a show or a player in sports, you secretly like them. You're confused. Your emotions is what happened. Who are you talking about? Are you talking to me or are you talking to Chris? Listen. No, I will stand on this. This is not about emotions or anything like that. In some ways, I do like the young man named Javon Freeman Liberty, but I also don't think he's a good fit for our team. In some ways, I reject him for being on this team in the future. I've already said that, and they're very fundamental good reasons why. I cannot go over them over and over again. I'll get blue in the face, and y'all will just look at me like a broken record. I am very much on the record on this, and I don't really want to talk about it anymore. In some ways, we'll see how everything goes, and we'll talk about it, and we'll see how it all plays out. And in some ways, well, maybe Lex will be right by the end of it. You'll see. I was right about Malachi. Let's just put it that way. Country Kong saying, I really want us to draft Buzelis. I think he's the perfect fit with BBQD. He's like if Scotty was Lithuanian. He probably watched JV as a kid. He's from Kansas and went to the same high school as Grady. Those are all great fits, and I like them too. In fact, I've already decided he's going to be one of my 5 that I'm going to pick that are very draftable, and I'm very interested in Bobby Masai. There is a mock draft that has him right around the top pick if we keep our pick protected from San Antonio. Yeah, Buzelis from G League Ignite. 2 thumbs up from me. I'm all about drafting a 6'10" guy that shoots like Dirk Nowitzki and has a lot of length and has a lot of promise. He has ball handling skills also. So there's a lot of good things about him. I didn't even know about the Kansas connections with Grady. That's an even more of a good reason to get him. Now, I have 2 thumbs up on that kid. Seriously. I like him too. And he's going to get picked up if we keep our pick. He's not going to last past to get to the second pick in the middle of the draft, the Indiana pick. He will get drafted in the top 10. So if we're going to get this guy, JP, we're going to have to protect our pick from San Antonio, which is only a 45% chance. And we got to hope that he's still on the board when our number comes up, because he may get picked before that. So there's a couple of ways, but I don't mind this. I greenlight this one. Bobby and Masai, Raptor Freak seal of approval on Buzelis. Yeah. I've seen enough of him. I saw him play against 905 this season. And yeah, he was really good at the All-Star weekend also, playing for the G League team against the NBA teams. In fact, he won a game with his team against a team he wasn't supposed to win. The G League Ignite team actually came up and won a game they weren't supposed to win, mainly because of Buzelis. And I like that. He was very good for three-point shooter. Wayne saying the narrative is the same for Gary. Give us points when you need more. Winning last night, probably not imperative, but at home, going 0 for 7 is unacceptable. No comment on your project player. Yeah. He doesn't want to talk about McDaniels. But yeah, I'm with this. In some ways, we want championship pieces. This is something that I brought up recently, and Wayne agreed with me. It's like we got to look at guys as far as what is their fit as a piece towards a championship team. And like I said, a Linnick, a Baji, Dick, Emmanuel, these guys are championship pieces. Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, a championship pieces. But some of these fringe guys on our team are not necessarily championship pieces, or pieces that you would have on a championship team. Now, Bruce Brown is a proven championship piece, but it still doesn't mean he's the right championship piece for our team. He's a good one for the Nuggets in that year that they won. Yeah. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. Jalen McDaniels, he's a project. If he doesn't pan out, I have no problem with them waiving him at the beginning of the season if he didn't do their work in the summer. Let's see. Nameless is saying you hated Jeffrey and Joffrey, because he was a good actor. I hated Kelly too because he was ultra effective. Yeah. He was very effective. He's a goon. He hurt some of our players back in the day. I believe he hit DeMar very, very ugly out of the air once, and that pissed me off. I can remember him fighting with people like Jonas and in the pivot and different stuff. Yeah, he was a Heat player on those Heat teams with Goran. Goran Dragic and Kelly Olynyk were like a tag team of Miami Heat people that I hated. And that's just the damn truth. But it's interesting because you can see my history with Goran, which is documented on this channel, and how much I hate him. I couldn't warm up to him, even if he came to Toronto. Now, Kelly being from Toronto and coming back here, it's easier, obviously. But yeah, there's most of the period of my life that I've known of Kelly Olynyk, I did not like him. Just so you guys know. Yeah, he's like Joffrey. He's a heel. He's a natural heel. It's just like people still hate Shawn Michaels and Triple H because in some ways they wanted you to hate them. Cowboys saying my dream draft is Dillingham for our lottery pick, Edie at 17, and Pacer pick, and Ryan Dunn in the first pick of the second round. For that's what you want. So you really like Rob Dillingham. He declared for the draft in the last couple of days. Yeah, I wasn't that impressed with him. I didn't realize he was so young too. In some ways, like once again, I want wingspan. I want 4 or 5. Especially at the top of the draft. It seems like in some ways this draft the best players are long wingspan forwards and centers. There's a lot of centers on the board. There's a lot of centers between Sarr and some of these French guys and Ware and Edie and Klingon. There's a lot of centers. So in some ways, I feel like it's best for us to draft size at the top and maybe go for skill and hidden gems in the later picks. So I won't totally agree with you. They did have Ryan Dunn right around that first pick in the second round. Ryan Dunn. He was just after it. One of the drafts had Zach Edey falling all the way to the first pick in the second round, and the Raptors picking him there. If we can get him that far down, that'd be amazing. That pick also had the Lakers picking Bronny James at 55. Trying to make everything fit just right, I guess. Let's see. This draft is going to be exciting. Yeah, it's going to be, listen, the Raptors are going to be more active in movement and different decisions than most draft years. Usually it's very cut and dry. We got a pick and we just draft it. Well, I have a feeling there's going to be trades and things like that around the draft for the Raptors this year. And that's going to be what's interesting. There's going to be way more activity from our front office, just like this season. There's still going to be some activity from them for sure. Let's see. Cowboys saying, I don't believe the hype that this draft is weak. There's a lot of players that look promising. This is the funny thing, and this is what they were saying on Raptors Tonight. And Alvin was so awesome last night on Raptors Tonight. Is that, look, I don't envy any GMs in this league because they got to make a very tough decision on a lot of guys that are questionable. And in some ways, you can make or break your job on drafting. If you're not drafting correctly, you know, there's a lot of folly and pitfalls. There's going to be players in this draft that are going to get drafted high that are absolutely not going to pan out. They're going to be busts. And I already think that UConn center is one of them. And, you know, that'll be the interesting thing. A lot of people are saying Zach will be one of them. So there's a lot of gambling in this draft because there's not as many sure bets. And somebody's going to draft a shitty player. Watch. There's going to be like, it could be one of those kind of drafts where everybody's like, wow, none of these players actually worked out in the end. Seriously. It could be like that a little bit. Yeah, Davidson, we got JFL. We're good. Yeah, we got walking around on the screen. Yeah. Chris is saying, I am done. JFL arrogant. Laugh out loud. How, Lex? He seems like the nicest dude out there. Too nice for his own good, but I'm going Old Testament with Jay. Man, do whatever you got to do to keep his pro career going. No, I say he's arrogant because honestly, that kind of attitude is kind of messed up. That your size, you should be trying to learn point guard if you want to be a professional basketball player. I'm sorry. That it's arrogant to think, oh, I'm just such a scorer. I'm just going to be so good. I'm going to just make the league. Yeah, you're not Allen Iverson, guy. And even Allen Iverson, when he came in the league, he was a better point guard than you are. He had a better passing to him, and he's not really that good of a point guard in some ways. He was a scoring shooting guard that is a point guard body, but because he was such an overwhelmingly good talent out of Georgetown, it worked. That's the thing. JFL, you got to be really, really good if you want to be the build that you're trying to be, and you're not. In some ways, you should have understood this younger and developed your passing skills and your point guard skills at a much younger level. It's disappointing, honestly. In some ways, a player like JFL wouldn't even be anywhere near the league in the old days because fundamentally, he's just not the right skills for his size. And that's the problem here, guys. That's the problem. Name is saying there's a reason why we pick. There's a reason we picked JFL up from the G League. In some ways, these limitations of his are not something new. Yeah, in some ways, listen, you know, injuries, people sitting out all of a sudden mysteriously putting JFL out there to play. In some ways, listen. His whole season in G League, Eric Curry found out that JFL does not necessarily add up to winning. You know, he did all this stuff on the G League level, and we got a lot of L's. He'd have a 40-point game, but we lost. That's what I'm saying. In some ways, this calculation of getting him up because the plan was to get in the right position to protect the pick. So think about it that way. It's not because, in some ways, it's a reward for a great job on the team, but also is it calculated in some ways? It's like, well, he's not going to help us win. That's what we don't want to do. Yay. You know, there's a little bit of that going on in there too. Let's see. Name is saying if Kelly or RQ were not happy in Toronto, there's no way they would resign an extension. That's right. IQ will resign in Toronto as well. Oh yeah, he's going to. It's not an extension. He's going to get a new contract and he's going to get a nice one. And in some ways, he should be getting paid more than Gary if we're going to sign both of them. But yeah, IQ, I predict he should be somewhere between 20 and 25 million himself. You know, he's on a rookie contract still, and he's not gotten any real good money yet. He's going to get money this summer, and the Raptors going to pay him. And that's the right thing to do. Name is saying IQ is a blue chip stock piece. Buy and hold. I promise you that. Yep, and yep. Yeah, we wanted to sink our claws into a Maxey type player. Well, we got him. Probably the closest thing to Maxey in the league. Dap from David. Name is saying, I think IQ will have potential value growth none of us could ever foresee. He's going to be that good. Well, I brought it up the other day. Could he average a triple-double? He looks like he could. If he just improves just a little bit better, if he gets very dedicated to rebounding in a certain way, the assists will come naturally. The scoring will come naturally. It's really the rebounds. If he's going to dedicate himself to getting a lot of rebounds himself, oh my gosh. Fat lever that shit, IQ. Fat lever that shit. That's right. That's what I'm saying. Go fat lever. Go fat lever. Anybody knows that reference? Yeah, you're old head like me. Let's see. Cowboy saying, Ryan Dunn is my favorite draft pick. Best defensive player in the draft. 1 out of 10 positions he blocks a shot. I think you had me go watch Ryan Dunn, but I don't even remember him. Either way, I think he was okay. And that late pick, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe we're getting Zach at that pick. Who knows? Country Kong saying Gary took a contested 3 and got blocked. That was the end of the game for me. I like his initiative on offense, but he's too lackadaisical with the shot selection. Grady runs like crazy to get open. That was such a dumb play, the one you just brought up, because he not only got blocked, he got a foul called on him because he lost his temper and grabbed the player after the block. It was such a dumb play. Gary was making a couple of foolish mistakes last night at different times, and that was one of them. Add insult to injury. I know he's upset because he's not getting respect for calls. It's true. And in some ways, he hurt us too. In one play, he got hit and he sat on the ground and didn't get up and run back, and they scored a transition basket. He made that egregious cardinal sin of getting mad about not getting the foul and not getting back on defense in transition. Yeah, that annoyed me. There were a couple of things Gary did last night that was pissing me off. Name is saying Masai did exactly as promised, pounced on 2 disgruntled stars in the making. Yeah, it's not even that they're disgruntled. It's just not a good fit in New York. Not a good fit in New York. IQ needed a starting job. He's not going to get that under Jalen Brunson. And RJ, in some ways, he didn't really fit in New York the whole time next to Randall. And now he has a very flourishing, feels like it fits kind of spot with the Raptors. And that's a big part of it. Both of them have seen stat increases, minutes increases, of course, for IQ. And it's really shown something, James is saying Rob Holland might not be available with the 6th pick. Detroit, Wizards, Blazers are all probably looking for small forwards. I'll be okay with Cody Williams or Buzelis with the 6th pick. Well, first of all, guys, I'm not even going to start coveting getting designs on the 6th pick until we know exactly if we are going to get the 6th pick. So in some ways, I don't even want to do this too much. Let's just wait. We got to see if we win in the draft lottery and we keep the pick and protect it. I don't want to put all this work into figuring out who we're going to get until I know exactly when we're picking. So in some ways, I don't want to get us all up on like, oh, we're going to have this and this when we don't keep the pick. That will be very disappointing. So in some ways, let's wait and not totally put design specifically on that pick. We got to see how this all shakes out first. Yeah, James is saying if we don't have a pick next year, we should just draft 3 players, no trading the pick. I think we already have the Indiana pick next year for sure. So, yeah, and I think we do have a pick next year. I'm not even totally sure. That's logical Raptors fanatic stuff for sure. He knows. So, but I don't disagree with this strategy if that's true. If we don't have picks next year, get more picks this year and get them started now. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Blackhawks saying, Chris, cruises are sunny as fuck. Blackhawks saying JFL can be a backup, but he has competition for that spot. Kobe Simmons or draft pick can be backup. Well, what if I told you I'd prefer 2 other people to be involved with us next season to be possible backup point guards, Jamias Ramsey and Marquise Noel. Those are the 2 other guys I'd rather invest in than Kobe Simmons and JFL. Yeah. Noel, true point guard, and Jamias Ramsey, a very superb defensive guard that also can play point guard. I saw Jamias playing point guard way better than Kobe Simmons or Javon Freeman-Liberty. Yeah, Jamias Ramsey. In fact, Monique posted in our Facebook chat yesterday that Jamias Ramsey is currently playing in the G League playoffs, and he's kicking ass. Oklahoma City Blue he's propelling them. Nobody knows this right now because nobody's paying attention because 905's done and nobody pays attention to the G League. But Jamias Ramsey returned to his G League team, the Oklahoma City Blue, and he is pushing them through the G League playoffs currently as we speak. I'm not sure if they're still in, but he had a huge game that made them advance in the G League playoffs recently. So I'm just saying, that guy's a winner. That guy's a good player. And if all the guys we've auditioned at the end of the season, Jamias Ramsey's my pick for a backup point guard with Marquise Noel second. Yeah, right there. That's what I'm saying, right there. Fiercely saying, when does the trivia end? Is it by the calendar year or the season? Sorry to ask. I didn't participate last season. The championship for the trivia is when the NBA championship is given. Yeah, Fiercely. So when the playoffs are over and there's a new NBA champion and the Larry O'Brien goes to a new team, that is when probably you will win the trivia championship. So, yeah, that's when it is. The playoffs are starting. Well, this is the playoffs for the trivia, the home stretch. And you have a good lead now because Ahmet has not been part of the classic card of the day. And you've gotten a couple. So you separate a little bit. Yeah, and Smooth's rising up. He's 5th place right now. And he was nowhere before we started classic card. So he's up there now. Blackhawks saying TJ McConnell is small and effective. Backup point guard is where these smaller players can make a name for themselves. Now, TJ McConnell is a true point guard. He passes. He makes threes very steady. He is the epitome of an established backup point guard in this league. And that's what I'm saying. Dennis Schroeder, an established backup / starting point guard in this league. He's versatile. He can do either. That's what I'm saying. I don't want somebody who's trying to prove themselves to make the league when it's probably better they go to Turkey and make millions of dollars and win championships over there. That's JFL to me. That is what he is. In some ways, TJ McConnell carved out an NBA career through fundamentals and playing point guard. That's the difference. TJ McConnell is a point guard. He plays point guard. JFL does not play point guard. He plays shooting guard. That's the problem right there, guys. Fiercely saying, RJ, love his Euro steps and spin moves. Also, his strength when driving. He reminds me of LeBron. Just goes in fearless, move out of the way. This is actually true. There is some similarities between the bullying of LeBron James and the bullying of RJ on a smaller scale. But there are very similar fundamental skills exhibited by Barrett and James in some of the actions. You're exactly on point with that, Fierce. That's a great observation. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm going to give you a dunk. You're at 88. 88 dunks for a Fiercey. Let's see. David's saying, man, the offseason sucks. Well, I'm going to try and make it fun, David. Don't get all upset and get all weird. Listen, we may have some good distractions this year. The WNBA stuff could be coming around. Watch more WNBA this summer. And yeah, Team Canada and Team USA and Olympics and Paris. Come on now. Come on. There's going to be a lot of good stuff this summer for sure. James is saying, Lex, if we get the 6th pick, would you trade it for Mikal Bridges? He's having a down year, but he's a great second or third option. I think he's a fantastic player. And now that OG's not on our team, yeah, he could come to our team and I'd be very happy. I don't know if this is possible, though. In some ways, I know the Knicks are really trying to get him, obviously, to complete their Villanova Wildcat set. But also, at the same time, the Nets very much value him, too. I don't know how this would work. I don't know his contract situation, whether he's a free agent or what. And I don't know. Would the Nets trade that pick straight up for him? Maybe. I don't know. This is a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda. If you're asking me if I like Mikal Bridges, yeah. If he was a Raptor, I'd be very happy if he was a Raptor. Yes. Danelle saying, laugh out loud. JFL or his camp heard yesterday's live when you said he needs to drop 20. I swear, Danelle, isn't that weird, man? Like, I don't know. I may have some Nostradamus gene in me somewhere. In some ways, that's just I pay attention. I've watched a lot of basketball. Well, sometimes I can predict stuff. Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it, Danelle? I'm so happy he got the 20. I wish he got more, though, because he got so much of it so early. And we needed him spread out a little bit more throughout the whole game. Because in some ways, yeah, you can control the game yourself and control a quarter, but can you control the game for 4 quarters? And can you help bring it home to get that W? That's what I'm saying. In some ways, the pattern was already set at 9:05. There were so many games this year. The JFL would come out and be gangbusters right out the start, like last night, and fade throughout the game. And by the end of the game, he'd have like 30 to 40 points, but they lost. And it didn't matter. It's a hollow thing. And he said it himself after the game. It's like, are you happy you got 20 points? He's like, we didn't win, and that's all that matters. That's what JFL said himself. So there's a lot of games at 9:05 this season where he had absolutely fantastic offensive games, but there was a big fat L at the end of the night. And sometimes those games were close. And he had the opportunity to take over and score at the end of the games, and they just rolled over and let the other team win by like 2 or 3 points right at the end. Now, is that blaming Eric Curry for being a shitty coach? Yeah. Is it blaming the guys on the 9:05 for not stepping up and doing something also? Yeah. So, I'm just saying there's a pattern of losing with him, and the style of play that he does not add up to W's, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of losing on 9:05 this year, and a lot of losing on the Raptors this year also. That's what I'm saying. Fiercely saying, I must say, thanks to the Raptor Streak family, the Raptors Tonight streams are lit. We add Saison, a.k.a. spice, to it. Thanks, fam. Now, we've infiltrated, and especially right now, because the real ones are not sticking around, or the real ones are sticking around, like us. And there's a lot of casuals that aren't going in there. So we predominantly are the Raptor Freak. The family is predominantly in the Raptors Tonight stream. It's fun. It's fun. I love what Alvin said on that show last night about Vince. He said, I'm sick of everybody talking about Vince so much this weekend. All right, let's let it go away. Listen, all right, he got Hall of Fame. Let's He's kind of like poo-pooing on it. And he said, I'm being jokey, but also he's not. In some ways, he's annoyed by it, I can tell. And one of the things that was important for Alvin to say last night on Raptors Tonight was, let's give due to the guys that were around Vince.
that helped protect him and took care of him when he first showed up. In some ways, everybody understands the legend of Vince Carter, but in some ways, they don't understand the legend of Vince Carter would not have been possible without him being next to guys like Charles Oakley, Kevin Willis, Del Curry, Muggsy Bogues, Antonio Davis, Chris Childs, D. Brown, Mark Jackson, Alvin Williams himself. Listen, in some ways, Vince Carter could only be who he was with that veteran core around him right away in his early career. I'm serious. In some ways, Alvin was demanding people respect and give due to Charles Oakley last night on the Raptors Tonight stream. And I love it. Kevin Willis. Yeah, the old vets that were around Vince in his rookie year were integral to Vince Carter's success and how things went for him in his career. And I love that Alvin brought that up last night and made sure those guys got their shine. Big Oak and the rest of them. D. Brown. That's a name that people don't realize was very instrumental in Vince Carter's early career because he was a vet on this team at that time. Yeah. Fiercely saying, I want to see which team gets eliminated and how they react in the offseason. He wants to see dumpster fires spontaneously combust and start on fire, like Milwaukee's probably will, Philadelphia's, Boston's. Yeah, we're going to see some cool dumpster fires. Let's warm our hands on the heat, Fiercey, when this comes around. I'm all about it. Tom Duke's got Monique on blast. I love it. She's also got me and Darko and Messiah. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying the Bucks finally beat the Celtics. Bravo. They finished. They ended their losing streak against the Celtics. Good stuff. The key was starting Patrick Beverley, apparently. Putting little small size Beverage in the starting lineup was a key adjustment. And they got some dog in there, maybe a little yappy ankle biting dog. But still, he was effective in this. And it's weird. Giannis got hurt and left the game. And the tests on it are actually looking okay. But I could see, I don't think they have much to go on. They have Doc. They're kind of loser spirit right now. They're in trouble. This is not the way you want to go into the playoffs, Milwaukee Bucks. You're in trouble. But nice job beating the Celtics last night. I will say that. Yeah, Tom's saying, Raptor Freak family going to country, going to be gold. Yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. It'll be interesting. I still consider myself in Toronto. Even though I'm going to be out there, I'm close enough to the GTA. We had that discussion yesterday. That I would still consider me being Toronto-based, just so y'all know. Even though I'm going to be in the cottage country north of Toronto, it's pretty much I'm still going to be in Toronto. That's because I can drive to Toronto anytime I want to. So just so y'all know, I'm not going really far away, but I will be in the country. That's for sure. Fiercely saying, Lex, Giannis was injured mid-game yesterday, non-contact injury. If he doesn't make the playoffs, the Bucks' chances are slim. I want to see them play in a more competitive setup. Yeah, in some ways, yeah, this is big trouble for them. If he's not totally healthy, I think all the results initially are okay and good so far. The tests from last night, that they came out pretty good considering things. But yeah, this is something we need to monitor. We know that even if Giannis is not totally hurt, he will sit out if he's just a little bit hurt sometimes. Free labor. Davis saying free labor. I'd prefer to see two West Coast teams in the final, to be honest. That can't work that way. It's just not how it works, man. In some ways, that we need an East versus a West, and that's just how it's always been done. Tom's got a tractor and some strawberries, a palm tree, a sprig of leaves, a tree, dinosaurs, a worm, some footprints. He's got me all ready to go out into nature. Yeah, I'm going to be kept connecting with nature, guys. Yeah, I may say some weird shit sometimes. Like, I really am very interested in trying to communicate with animals. I know that sounds crazy. I was joking around with my dad about Dr. Doolittle. You know Dr. Doolittle, the story when you're a kid, you could talk to the animals. Well, in some ways, I feel like, in some ways, and I may sound real crazy right now, that there is an unspoken energy between animals and us, that if we could tap more into our primitive selves, that there was a more of a spiritual connection that we can tap into that we don't even realize. It's not anything said. It's something like energy. You feel it, like a dog feels your energy. Your dog can tell whether there's a nice person or not. They don't like people that you kind of trust them. You're like, oh, the dog doesn't like that person. Well, there's energy. There's unspoken energy that animals can sense. In some ways, if you have a good, peaceful energy, a bird is more likely to fly and jump on your hand. So some of my studies and what I'm going to do out there is to try and connect with birds and chipmunks. No, I'm not lying. I'm going to try and start feeding them out of my hands. It could very well be that I'm going to be doing streams out in the front yard and I'll have a chipmunk sitting in my hand while I'm doing it. Just so y'all know. I want to get to that point, seriously, because I have a lot of chipmunks at my property. And also, I've seen how people do this, where they feed them and they come right up and they hang out with you and they get used to you. So I got to get my vibes right so the chipmunks are cool with me. Yeah, this stream, I say the weirdest shit, don't I? Listen, this is as long as this guy's not coming in there and scaring everybody, because I know this guy has family out there too, building dams and running around out there. Listen, you're going to be good. You're my son, right? If I bring you out the wall, you're not going to run off on me, are you? You're going to stay around because you are my son. I love you. I don't want you to leave me, all right? Yeah, you're going to stay around? All right. That's right. All right. I'm glad you'll stay. I love you. We're locked in forever, just like Scotty and Pascal. Yeah. All right, go on. Get out of here. All right, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Have a good one. F Brooklyn. That's right. F Brooklyn. Say it like Messiah would say it. Fuck Brooklyn. That's right. Dap, 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 dap. There's a 11-16 cutoff from Fiercey. Cool Cat saying, Lex, going to check out the game on NBA app to hear Potty Mouth Spicy P. Yeah, he's hilarious. He said, what the fuck? He said, what the fuck? And I know it's him because I know his voice. And he's facing the camera and he's facing the mic and he's right there and you can hear him. And he said, what the fuck? It's on every replay. They can't bleep it out. It's just part of the ambiance of it. Yeah, it's so funny. He has been challenging. Thank you to get trying to get aggressive with his offense and stop hesitating. I wanted that continued hype for Scotty. Damn. Yeah. Man, Siakam's going to be interesting to see how his game develops post Raptors career. In some ways, I've wondered about what the next levels are for him. I wish this for him, Cool Cat. I want him to be more clutch. My wish for him to become more clutch on the Raptors still exists for him on the Pacers. I want to see him take games home. I want him to be so dominant in fourth quarters that he gets like 20 points in a fourth quarter, and he absolutely is the reason why the Pacers win a game. That's what I want to see from him still. And I know that that's the next evolution for Pascal Siakam if he is going to get a higher ceiling in his career going forward. And I believe it. They were saying on the broadcast that Siakam is weird because you can see a guy from the outside, but you don't really know until you live with him. And I love that analogy by Matt and Alvin. It sounds like they shared a hotel room on a road trip and it didn't go totally well. And that's why they didn't want to talk about it too much. Matt and Alvin. It's like you don't know anybody until you actually live with someone is what they were saying. And the Pacers organization, since they've acquired Siakam, they're seeing from the inside how Siakam works. And they're like, holy crap, this is actually what he does to be as good as he is. Holy crap. That's the stuff we're talking about. Siakam's such a hard worker, and he's a really good role model for that. And the Pacers team is getting that now. It's somewhat a byproduct of DeMar DeRozan, Kawhi Leonard, Kyle Lowry teaching Pascal, and now Pascal taking that work ethic to the Pacers. And they see it day in, day out now. It's awesome. David's saying RJ is a sniper with some of those passes. Yeah, he's a fantastic passer. See, that's all I want, Freeman Liberty. Can you pass better than your forward? Seriously. David's saying, I'm still laughing about Wayne Strainer's Flynn 4.0. Almost deserves another dunk. When did he say that? I'm going to give him a dunk because in some ways that's funny to me too. So, yeah, I'm going to give Wayne a dunk just real quick. 28 for Wayne. 28. Let's keep going. Country Con saying he read the Riot Act, dunk for Lex. What part was that? When did I say that? I don't remember. Cool Cat saying Pascal has Canadian citizenship and lives in Toronto. His sister and 2 brothers and 2 nieces live in Toronto. It's his home, and the Raptors arena is his ball home too. So right to flex. He said he won at home. That's what he said in his story after the game. And I'm not going to disagree with him. That's totally fine with me. In some ways, I like that better than Dylan Brooks annexing our arena from the opposing team and kicking our ass. Villain Dylan coming in and saying, this is my home. No, it isn't. You don't play for the Raptors. But yeah, Siakam, you can have that home. And I love that he's Canadian citizen. And I love that Christian Siakam was still a coach for 905 right up until the very end. In fact, there was some fun clips online recently of Marquise Noel playing a one-on-one with Christian Siakam. That was very fun to watch, honestly. Very, very fun to watch. David's saying, whoa. Only because Scotty Barnes wasn't playing. This is a Scotty's house now, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. David's saying, like, listen, this is Barnes franchise, Barnes house. No, Siakam's a welcome guest. It's not like Scotty's going to be mad and say, no, you can't, this can't be your house, Pascal. You can't do that to him. Come on now, David. I thought Carlisle was going to knock Neesmith out at one point. The man was pissed. Yeah. That was the one player that he was really mad at. He was missing his defensive assignments, and he yelled at him good when he's coming off the court. And well, he got a reaction out of Neesmith. That's a good coach that he got fiery with them, and it worked. They changed their attitude on defense, and Aaron Neesmith himself came out playing better after Rick Carlisle lost his shit. Yeah. Cowboys saying this draft offseason for the Raptors is going to be fire. We got our core players plus Grady. This team is not going to surprise. This team is not going to surprise lots of people. What do you mean? Yeah, we will, because they're all going to downgrade us. They're all going to have the attitude of saying we don't have anybody but Scotty, and we'll show up with more than Scotty, and they'll be wrong. Seymour saying, I guess we all survived April 8th. What pop, fam, from the Mountain Time region? There you go. This is Sheriff Seymour Pape saying that we survived the eclipse. Total eclipse of the heart. Yeah, it was all right. It got dark here. It was kind of weird. It got dark for like 5 minutes. I stood outside and looked at it. Although I didn't look at the sun because it was so cloudy in Toronto, you couldn't see it. But it didn't get totally dark, completely pitch dark. But the streetlights came on, which was weird. It's like 3 p.m, and some of the animals started coming out in the yard. Yeah, like seeing what's going on. Why is it like dark all of a sudden outside? Like the squirrels came out in the yard all of a sudden. They were looking at me, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. Oh, it's an eclipse. And then it got bright again. It was really, really cool. In some ways, that eclipse was very interesting and cool. I watched this one channel called Navajo Teachings, and they have this guy that knows like the old native ways, Navajo ways. And the way they look at an eclipse is rebirth. They say that eclipse is basically the sun dying during the day and then being reborn. And that natives in the past would use the eclipse. They very much sacred time. They don't go outside. They sit in their house and they just are quiet and they manifest and think about change in their life. They think about how they can honor the holy people better by changing things about what they're doing in their life to be better for them. So it's a renewal time, the eclipse, and it's signified by the death of the sun in the sky and the rebirth of it coming back the other side. So just a little insight from what the original people on this continent, the way they looked at it. They feel like it's very sacred. And in some ways, they would be very disappointed with all the people out there trying to look at it. In fact, they were told when they were back in the day, obviously this is true. You can go blind looking at it because it is true. And that they didn't want to even mess with that. If you would look at it as bad luck, and in some ways you're asking for trouble looking at an eclipse, according to Navajo teachings, just so you know. Very interesting stuff, though. Very, very interesting stuff. Salute to the sheriff from Cowboy. And ta-da services, since you brought it up, Seymour. Listen, it may be that time of year where you need new flooring or a new kitchen, or a flood restoration because there was a flood all of a sudden with the melt of the snow that never happened this year. Starting as low as $89, you could call Bradley at Tada Cleaning Services, 647-833-6844 in the greater Toronto area. Ta-da. Call for a free quote. Franchise is available. All right, yeah, let's go. Monique saying, I left for a bit and we're still here. Haha. Well, it's not noon yet. It'll be noon in 3 minutes. I'm forever thankful for the Raptor Freak crew. W Stream Legs, keep at it. Always good times. Good times approaching. Go Raptors for life, regardless of the situation. You go to Monique. What a great year. Thank you for carrying us down at the arena all year long. Thank you for carrying our spirit and being a true RFF. I don't know if you talked to Danielle about our channel. Maybe she's watching this morning. I don't know. Kareem saying, JFL will prove you wrong, Lex. As it stands right now, he is light years ahead of Fred. What? No, he's not. It's a build thing. It's an NBA 2K build thing. His build is wrong, y'all. His build is wrong. It's like they went in, and when they made his character on the game, like I've seen Scotty make 2K builds, they just started with the wrong frame and the wrong player type for everything. It's just wrong. His player build is wrong, guys. I'm sorry. If he makes me wrong, just like Fred, okay, prove me wrong, JFL. In some ways, that's part of the fun of this. In some ways, I don't believe in you. Okay, prove me wrong, JFL. Because that means the Raptors will be good because you did something good. And I don't like that. But no, Fred was a real point guard the whole time. He had point guard skills already when he came in. He had passing skills from his time with the Shockers. And JFL's never had passing skills. I don't even understand how he got this far without being any kind of a passer. It's so ridiculous, seriously. and really symptomatic of poor training young players in the United States at this point. Cowboys said, I agree, Cream, but after this draft and offseason with our new assets, I think it's going to be hard for him to make the team, but time will tell. Let's go Raptors. This is a great point by Cowboy. We're going to get new faces and new names, and training camp is going to get more competitive next year. It's easy for him to play right now because, hey, people are injured. People are out. There's a lot of time. Next year, when everybody's healthy and we get some new faces, new draft picks, new stuff, it's not going to be easy for them. And I'm saying, in some ways, he's got to do the things he needs to do this summer to become more of a point guard. If he doesn't, he has no future here. And Darko pretty much spelled that out after the game. He needs to become more of a point guard if he wants to be on the Raptors. And that's just the damn truth. Monique saying Alvin Williams ain't lying either. No, he's not. Alvin's a real one. And we love you, Alvin. And listen, if you have any exposure to my channel, you are my favorite player for the longest time. In fact, in some ways, you're my legacy long time favorite player. I like some of the more newer Raptors in different ways, but historically, my favorite player has always been Alvin Williams. And I feel so lucky I've gotten to meet him 3 times in my life and really show appreciation to him and talking to him after a Raptors Tonight broadcast. Alvin's just awesome. He's just awesome in all kinds of ways, and he is continuing to get better and better on the broadcast. His back and forth with Matt is hilarious at this point. There's some things that these guys are saying is so good, so good. Wayne saying, well said about that group around VC. Loved every one of those guys. Missed that comment by Alvin. His number should be retired too, Alvin's number. Well, that's what we've been writing in the Raptors Tonight chat. Forget about 15. Let's retire 10. Let's retire 20. Let's retire 7. I've been saying shit like that around places too. In some ways, I would way more appreciate a number 20 in the Raptors for Alvin Williams than a 15 for Vince Carter. Does it tell me, oh, you're crazy, Lex? Alvin Williams retired his number and not Vince's? Yeah. And real ones like me that understand this will understand why. Will understand why right there. That's right. Cowboy saying later, Lex and Raptor Freaks. One last thing. What does the Farmer app say today? All right, Cowboy. I love this. He wants to know what the old Farmer's Almanac is saying this morning. What is the thing to do for Bradley today? Maybe he'll go and do his job today for Tada. And he'll show up and it'll be like a floor restoration. And instead, he'll come in and say, nah, Farmer's Almanac told me I need to color hair today. So come here, come in the sink. We're going to make your hair pink. Yeah, that's one of them. Today is a great day to color your hair. So if you've been thinking about a new wild color for your hair, today's the day, according to the Farmer's Almanac. So go ahead and get green hair today if you really wanted it. Also to cut hair to encourage growth. Now, if you're somebody like me, you're lacking the hair, maybe you shave it and maybe it'll come back today because it's a good day to cultivate hair coming back. And then the last one is harvest above ground crops. So Bradley, if you have any above ground crops outside that you need to be harvesting right now, today's a good day to go get them. So color your hair, cut your hair, and harvest the crops is what it's saying right now, Bradley. There you go. Thanks for bringing up the Farmer's Almanac. And yeah, I'll be using this a lot when we get to the next place. And Kareem's saying Fook Brookland. Fook Brookland. Fook. Yeah. Cowboys saying 2-finger salute to Brooklyn. They're going down tonight. Let's go. Raptors for life. Yeah, Dennis Schroeder. Going down tonight, Schroeder. That's right. Make Junior Schroeder cry. Daddy died. Daddy lost. He lost. Daddy lost. Yeah. Make the Schroeders cry. Oh, I love them. They're a great family. Let's see. Isaac saying Farmer's Almanac app says it's 420 somewhere. Okay, Isaac. Smoke them if you got them, my guy. Alley-oop to Isaac. Yeah, Isaac's funny. Last night, Isaac had a joke that was just the best. I forget what that joke was. Isaac, what was your joke? Oh, it was something about the eclipse. What did Isaac say? Isaac, if you remember your joke from last night that made me give you a dunk, because I did. I went in and wrote a dunk in as soon as you did it. All right, 44 for Isaac. He's got a Patrick. I forget who 44 is. You got a 44 dunks right now. What is that joke again, Isaac? If you remember, it's something about the eclipse, like somebody eclipsed somebody or something. I don't remember. Let's see. Cowboys saying, my bad. This team will surprise lots of people, but not me. Champions 2025. It's family. Raptors, Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2025. NBA champions 2025. Toronto Raptors. World NBA champions, Toronto Raptors 2025. Yeah. Wayne's saying, thanks, Dave. I am serious, almost too serious for that guy. He's totally useless. Awful to state about a player. Flynn gave us a few decent moments. Cheers, Dave. Working on a PowerPoint and listening. There you go. Nice to see the interaction between Wayne and David. Yeah. Okay. David's saying, what's wrong with that farmer app? Harvest your above ground crops. It's April the 10th. There are no crops above the ground. Maybe some people do have crops above the ground right now. I know that does sound weird, doesn't it, David? It's like, who the fuck is getting crops right now? Maybe you had short crops that you already started early spring and they're ready to go now. I think it's just in general, they're saying because of the moon phase and where the moon and the placement of the sky is, that this is a conducive time to go get the crops for whatever reasons the old farmers figured out in the almanac. I don't know. But yeah, that doesn't make total sense to me either. Like, who the fuck is harvesting right now on April the 10th? I think you're exactly right. Have a good day, sir. Country Kong saying, Lex, every day you say something that astounds me. Animal communication is an intriguing study. Did you know that cats don't meow to other cats? They evolved to be able to communicate with humans. That is fascinating as hell, Country Kong. Yeah, I think that in some ways, if we're going to destroy the natural world as idiots, going after an imaginary money system that really doesn't matter in the whole scheme of things, in the real world, the natural world, the world that the animals live in, we need to go and communicate with them to try and get back to the right place. And I may sound absolutely batshit crazy by saying that, but I think that there is some sort of thing that we can figure out. There's so much communication between trees. Trees are all connected underneath, but through their roots. And there's all kinds of like different resources that they help each other with by sending them back and forth underneath the ground. We don't even realize they're sentient beings. Trees have, I don't know if they have thoughts or they have an aura and they have an energy to them that is a living being that has something to it. Now, it's not something we totally understand because we're stupid in some ways. But there is science and different things that can be figured out and can have a crazy opening and discoveries of connections and branching out literally to branch trees and animals and figuring them out more. There's certain species that are closer than ever than communicating with us. Of course, we know about apes and sign language. Of course, we know about the communication of whales and dolphins and how intelligent these animals are. In fact, I've said this recently on this channel in the last year, that I don't think humans are the most intelligent, most important beings on this planet. I think that whales are. I think that whales have lived on this planet longer than us, and they have a whole secret world in the ocean, which is a bigger part of the world than the land masses, and that they are higher intelligence than we are in certain ways. And that may sound absolutely batshit crazy, but there are certain things and studies about whales and things about them. And all the animals have feelings and they feel pain just like us. In fact, there's been studies that plants feel pain. That when you weed whack your yard, when you're out there with a string cutter or whatever, you're literally barbarian, savaging, like living species that feel it. We've been taught so long that none of these animals or plants or things don't feel pain, but that's not the damn truth. That bacon feels that pain when it gets to your breakfast plate. And he's just only told us that just to make us feel better about what we're doing. But no, it's not true. We very much hurt trees. That sap that comes out of a tree when you chop it down, that's its blood, just like we have blood in our bodies. So, I mean, I may be ahead of my time right now. And in some ways, there needs to be a counterbalance in this world today with the greed and the priorities of the people in charge and what we're doing and getting back to what actually matters. Like the people I was talking about earlier, the Navajo and the people, and they understood the connection with the natural world, the living beings, the natural ground that we live on, and they respected it and they treated it in a sustainable way. And that in some ways we may need to get back to those kind of ways, because in some ways we may need that world to save our asses in the next 50 to 100 years, because we shat in our bed for too long, and we made our air so bad, and we messed up our water, and we messed up our food sources, and we need to get right with our relationship with the natural world and things in it. I'm telling you, in some ways I may sound crazy and revolutionary and weird, but maybe I'm a little ahead in some of the things that may need to happen to right the damage we've done to our ecosystem that we live in, that we have to stay in, or we will die. So it's just about saving our planet and saving our existence. In some ways, we may need to reach out and talk to the parts of this world that may be smarter than us innately, naturally, like the whales, the trees, and maybe the chipmunks. Yeah, I don't know. You guys can take me as seriously as you want. Some people, like JP said, he really enjoys the off the wall, kind of quirky, different ideas and subjects that I bring up. And well, that's part of the entertainment of this channel. I mean, we went on a 30-minute old classic sitcom talk yesterday about good times and what's happening. Well, today we're talking about talking to chipmunks. And yeah, I'm all about it. That's my channel. Take it or leave it. JP, thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. That's a high compliment. And I really do appreciate it. Country Kong, you're getting a 3-pointer. I appreciate your presence here. And listen, if anything, like, look, it may be like people look at my numbers on YouTube and they're like, man, you don't really get anybody watching you. Well, you know what? If I have a few people watching me and they hear some of my ideas, they talk to other people. It could be very well that JP is going to go talk to somebody about some of my ideas about nature and stuff and what he just said about cats. And it propagates itself. It's a butterfly effect. I start here a little bit and boom, who knows where these things go? Seriously, who knows where these things go? So I never think what I'm doing is not worthwhile, because y'all are here and I appreciate y'all being here. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Isaac's, the joke was 48 to 40. That's right. That was the joke. He said, all right, early in the game last night, the Suns were getting their ass kicked bad by the Clippers. The Clippers jumped all over them. And the first quarter looked like a first quarter for us recently, where we tripled up the Wizards on Sunday, 39 to 13. Well, they were winning 48 to 14. And Isaac wrote in to the Facebook chat, the Suns be getting eclipsed. I was like, that's so good by the Clippers. And I was like, that's exactly right. It's funny because it's the Suns, and there was an eclipse the day before, and they were getting their ass beat bad, 48 to 14. It was crazy. Yeah, that was awesome. That's right. And join the Facebook chat if you want more opportunities to get dunks. You can get dunks in Raptors Tonight chat and in our Facebook chat if you are extremely witty, like Isaac Campbell was last night when he said that about the Suns be getting eclipsed. That was so good. Isaac, the timing was so good because I went and looked at the score. I'm like, oh my God, look at the score in the Suns game right now. It was so bad how Durant and them were playing that they brought Thaddy Daddy in. They were like, save us, Thad Young. They put Thad Young in to try and get things right. It was so bad for the Suns last night at a certain point. Crazy stuff. Cowboy saying potatoes and garlic is above ground crops. Peace, family. There you go. It's April. I just planted the potatoes. David is so surly and funny. It's funny. What the hell am I supposed to plant them? February? Actually, you can do this kind of stuff. You know, that's another thing I'm interested in doing is underground growing. I may build like an underground grow place, like dig it out in the ground and do geothermal greenhouse during the winter so that I can grow all around the year. I'm going to be doing some experimental shit as far as like how to grow food and do things like, and in some ways, listen, I shouldn't maybe use this Farmer's Almanac because the climate changes happen so quickly. In some ways, it's like you can't go by the way things used to be with the seasons. The seasons are all fucked up. They're longer and weird. And we had early spring already this summer. I mean, this year. So in some ways, the climate change is like you got to be on your toes. And the old Farmer's Almanac may not be accurate because things are changing so quickly with the weather patterns and things like that. In some ways, I've said, like, you know, the growing season for Ontario may increase because of climate change. That, you know, in some ways we may be getting warmer and getting a longer period of the year where we can actually grow. That's kind of an interesting concept and thing I'm theorizing could happen as global warming continues. In some ways, this has very much been a cold climate historically, but we may become more and more of a temperate climate in the decades to come very soon. And that may be in our favor. I mean, places along the equator may be very dry and inhabitable and very impossible for people to live in soon. So, and we may be in a good band because we're in a higher latitude. And also there's cooler temperatures here historically, maybe warmer. Well, we can deal with the warmer weather because we'll like it because we're sick of crazy ass long winters. So in some ways, living in Canada and dealing with cold weather is going to be better when the global warming happens and the USA is all burned up. Seriously, think about that. Seriously. Cowboy is giving a cookie to Uncle David. Yeah, his orneriness about this is kind of comedic and funny. And David getting all bent out of shape about why are they getting crops right now. You got 1975, the year of my birth. There you go, David. 75 dunks for David. That's awesome. Let's see. Cream saying, I'm going to plant pumpkin seeds all along the crosswalk behind my house and freak everybody out later this year. Farmer's Almanac. You should do this. There's actually a real movement like this, Cream. It's like, what's the word for it? It's like, I forget that word. It's outlaw. It's like outlaw planting. And people basically will walk around the cities or places in public and they'll just toss seeds in public, like like it may be an island in the middle of the road. It could be you're in the middle of the city and there's a little patch where there's a little bit of ground, and they'll just throw the seeds there and they'll just see if they grow. Do it. Totally. It's kind of like a subversive little part of society right now. There's like secret seed planters that are putting wildflower seeds and all kinds of different seeds in all kinds of places. It's smart to do wildflowers, honestly. A lot of people love doing their lawns, but the lawn's so stupid. A lawn is the dumbest thing you can do with your yard. Either grow food or make it a pollinator garden, and just set it up like that. In some ways, you make it a pollinator garden, it looks pretty, and you don't have to do hardly any maintenance. You have to get out there and trim your yard and do all this crazy shit. Well, you don't if you do it the other way. And in some ways, it's so much better for the world than your mono stupid ass lawn that you're doing. Most people do. It's so dumb. The reason why they started doing lawns is because it was a symptom of being rich. I'm so rich, I don't have to grow food in my ground because I'm rich now. It's so dumb. That's the whole reason why people started doing just lawns with grass. Is it was a status symbol that taught people, he must have money. He doesn't have to use his ground to grow potato. It's so dumb. Did you realize that's the truth? That lawns were a status symbol of being so wealthy that you didn't have to grow your own food. Ooh, it's so dumb. Yeah, do that, Kareem. Put those pumpkin seeds out there, and well, maybe you'll have some gourds around Halloween, and it'll be fun. Now, the one problem is when you're doing this secret like seeding, you got to watch out because there's going to be city works and public works that come around and weed whack and hedge and cut everything down. So in some ways, you got to find a little spot where it can kind of get itself going and be safe. Because if somebody's going to come by and just destroy it, well, what can you do at that point? Let's grow. That's right. Isaac's saying, grow your young seedlings like the Raptors, not like a Nick nursery. All right, Isaac, you want a 3-pointer? That's a 3-pointer right there. All right, guys, thanks for watching me today. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. 47, you got the AK-47, Andrei Karolinko 47. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What am I going to do? Okay. The injuries for the Raptors. Let's see if it's changed at all while I've been on the air. It looks like it has not. Persona non grata, gambling, financial genius out. Chris Boucher out. Yaka Pirtle out. Scotty Barnes out. DJ Carton out. Grady Dick. Day to day, I'm going to guess he's going to play tonight. Emmanuel Quickly will be playing tonight. I'm pretty sure, guys. Now, I could speculate that one of the other guys or maybe two of the other guys will not play tonight because it is a back-to-back. And some of the guys who played last night may be getting the night off tonight. So, yeah. And on Brooklyn's side of things, they have a laundry list of injuries also. Dariq Whitehead out. Ben Simmons out. Keita Bates Diop out. Dorian Finney-Smith out. Dennis Smith Jr. out. Nick Claxton probable. Cameron Johnson, probable. Jalen Martin out, and Jacob Gilyard, probable. The referees for tonight all favor the Raptors. We've got Star Wars fanatic Carl Lane. He's awesome. Eric Dalen, the tight end, and bubble ref Brandon Schwab. Yeah, and let me see. What else do I have to say? Yep, my 3 stars of the game for the Pacers game last night, a loss to Siakam and the Pacers. Olynyk, Freeman Liberty, and RJ Barrett. Yeah, with honorable mention going to Jordan Nwora. All right, that's pretty much it. Good to see Siakam last night. Let's fucking beat Brooklyn for sure. Let's kick their ass. And let's just have a good day. Raptor your day. If you have a team in the playoffs, get your team set up for tonight on our Yahoo Fantasy League. I appreciate everybody watching me today for 3 hours. And I will be back tomorrow with reaction to the Brooklyn Nets game against Dennis Schroeder and the rest of them in Brooklyn tonight. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Oh, real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Tonight we have a matchup between FIBA champions. First of all, our FIBA medalists. In this corner for the Brooklyn Nets, we have the FIBA MVP of Germany, Dennis Schroeder. And in this corner for the Raptors from Team Canada, Mississauga's own RJ Barrett. And tonight they will be doing a FIBA long jump. Who can jump the furthest? Oh, wait, no, skateboarding. This is going to be FIBA skateboarding. They're going to have a skateboarding competition. Who can do the better skateboarding? We know Dennis is a good skateboarder. We don't know if RJ is. We'll have to find out if RJ Barrett knows how to skateboard. Maybe I should have put a Kelly Olynyk in this. Kelly Olynyk, a good skateboarder? Maybe. I don't know. Who do you think's a better skateboarder?
Well, I don't know if I should do a poll right now. I should just get the hell out of here. All right, 2-point dunk from Mo. All right, we can do Mo dunk. Monique. All right, 43. She's on Pascal. I see why you wanted to do that. You want to give her the Pascal number before she was done. What a guy. What a guy Isaac Kimball is. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors. Beat the Nets. Get win number 26 tonight. Get this 26 win and even the series with the Nets and get another Atlantic Division win. Let's go, Raptors.